Nashimati alako saveshia ilahera kate nimara alako shoniana. Minaru ukushe inayuvoso tiana li anonoro koveshe kianite liasato. Mikala lindo unu ruushe kiala halite. Miana koleva kodari andoro veshia uhi inaya kaliatodaso yala kate iya tashanoto. Good day, good love, good light, illuminators and way showers. Thank you. It is once again an honor, grace, gratitude that we join with you today in our highest joy on our journey and our excitement on this beautiful autumnal equinox energy day, or the spring equinox if you're in the southern hemisphere, as we come to you from the northern hemisphere here in Alabama, USA. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is a live Zoom participation webinar. If you're not already aware of that, the Zoom link to participate is right in the description of the video below. If you'd like to join us today here as we share just ourselves and our excitements, whatever light language activations come, whatever messages come. We've got oracle cards. I'll be doing a little symbols and just delightful conversation. So we welcome all you into this beautiful energy space with us. And we so enjoy your participation. And we've already got several people coming in the room, and hello to everybody who's out there watching. So please do say hello, tell us who you are, where you are in the live chat. And also if you've got any questions in the live chat and you just happen to be joining us just on YouTube today, please do interact, send us your questions, your comments, and just let everybody know that your energy is being heard and shared, because that really is the most exciting part of all of this for us, is to share in all of this. And
I'm going to say it. Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. Okay. I never say that.
But I do want to say the sharing is really important. So other people that might not know about our little gatherings and get-togethers and sharing, you're sharing the channel information, the website information, really helps spread the word. And if you feel resonating with the information, then the people that you know are in that same vibration, and they might appreciate finding out about it, and maybe you're the person to tell them.
That's a very good point.
So I'm going to let the people in, because this is a Zoom event that we like to have participation with. So of course there are a couple people watching on YouTube. Go to the link and join the Zoom chat directly, and you could talk with us and share your information. And
of course, we're always delighted to see all of your lovely smiles and faces, but we realize too that some people just don't want to be on camera. That's okay too. If you want to come in and join and talk, you're welcome to come in and share. You don't have to be on camera, of course. And this is one of the beauties of starting the membership on my languagesoflights.com website, is also to help other people overcome their shyness, maybe share in a private group. So we have been doing and will continue to do more live, more private gatherings like this also, in addition to these live ones we do on YouTube, and so that other people can maybe gather in a smaller space and a place that's not broadcast anywhere at all in any social media. So do please, if you haven't already, please do stop by the website. And also that's going to be changing over in the next couple of months as well. Dave's been working diligently on my new website as we're going to be navigating it to a new space. So we've been working a lot on that, and Dave's been working on a lot of other projects, as he also is a website developer. So if you need some help in that arena, please do let him know. And we'll make sure to put his and my links everywhere, of course. So it is in your sharing, your giving, your private sessions, your support, and your memberships that helps me literally keep these lights on. So it is important, and it is appreciated always to help me continue to express my highest joy. And just like so many other creators out here, and all of you who are wanting to create yourselves and are looking for the inspiration, the push, the letting your hair down and knowing that if it's something that excites you, it's something that perhaps you might want to look into doing. And one of the things that we love doing here is inspiring and supporting others to go out there and share their highest joys and excitements. That is what I love doing best, actually, in the sessions, is no matter how it comes through, whether it's light languages, oracle readings, whether it's channeled messages, because it's always our spirit and spirit guides with us all the time here in all of these gatherings, and an infinite quantum level, I will add. And we never know how the messages are going to come through. And so it's very exciting to share with all of you, and then see all of you go out in the world and literally just become the lights that you came here to be. And that in of itself is what we, the emissaries, the light, came to do. And the Elohim is to remind everybody of their brightness, their source energy within them, that to make this the most beautiful dream you've ever experienced. And all the nuances and all the whether it's light language, whether it's our enhancing and facilitating our extraterrestrial contacts, but really it all begins in here. It begins with opening contact within yourselves, within finding who you are, what you're here to do, and share your excitement with the world. So I wanted to say hi to everybody. Hi to everybody who's in the room.
And on YouTube, we have Frederick, Cynthia, Starseed Catalyst, who says the Zoom chat is disabled.
What?
I'm not sure if you're in.
Let's see.
I'm not sure if you're in the room yet. I don't think so. Dios, Mayors, Rios, and Starseed is from Toronto. Cynthia is from Connecticut. Frederick's from the Netherlands, and Bev is here from the UK.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so hop in if you, hey, girl. Hello, friends. Hello, friends in the room. Love you guys. So good to see you.
And when you're in the Zoom room, we promote you to the panelists, which allows you to video and talk. And feel free to unmute your mic and talk when you feel so inclined. So one of the things I would like to do from the start is to have an activation specifically for the autumnal equinox. And I invite everyone here to find a comfortable spot in your imagination.
That's a nice way to put it.
And let go of everything except for the now moment, and think about peace and harmony, and expand your light to the whole universe.
And today really is about centering. So just to clarify, today is 9/22/2022. And actually, I really was going to have this at to 22 anyway, just because of the resonation and the vibration of all the numbers and the twos and all of the things associated with all of that. And so Dave wanted to put out the question to everybody, what's a good time for everybody? And also for other live events. And when we're setting up doing things like whether it's live events, private or public, it's always good to know wherever all of you are in the world, what's a good time so that we can change the times of our events so that we can include everybody, even if everybody can't always make it at the same one. So that's one of the other reasons why we asked, is because it just helps us too. And we know that there's a lot of people out there working and have families and kids and stuff and school and just life. And so it's nice to know that, is evening better, is weekends better. It's because it's all about the sharing, and we want you guys to be able to share. So that's one of the reasons why we ask those questions too. So, because we do love that you're all able to participate.
And we do have people who are all over the world, and we don't really know the cultures of everyone all over the world. And sometimes someone in Australia who might be 12 hours different from us might spend their time wanting to do these kind of things, what would be in their middle of the night, and we have no idea. So if we're trying to figure out when a good time is,
or India, my dear friend in India,
we have no idea what's going on, when good times are for everyone. And one of the things we're going to do once I get the new website up and running is create the ability for when people sign up to put in not only where they live, but to put in ranges of times in their own profile of when they're available.
Oh, that's good.
So we could then.
So it's not that we're being nosy. It's just that we really want to know how's the best we can serve, and that's really the reason. And
we sort of know when we're guided to do these things.
Yeah, and sometimes it just is when it is, right? So that's what we always know too, that no matter when it is, and again, everything's now. So whether you see it now or live, or whether you don't see it live, it doesn't really matter, because it's your now, and when you see it is when you're supposed to see it. So
Frederick says,
hey Frederick,
it's 21:34 in Holland, perfect time for me, the kids are all in bed.
See, and that's what we want to know is so now I know this is a good time of the afternoon for a lot of people in that area. So that's very exciting for us to know those things, and we can schedule different things at different times accordingly, or even do the same thing at different times so that other people can catch it. And so I wanted to say thank you to all of you who did RSVP and who, the reason why we're doing that too, and even though we're moving off of this platform for the website, but there's a couple of reasons. This is one, because we want to keep you in the loop once the new website's in, so we can let everybody know, via email and notifications how, where things are at and what events are coming once we get the new website going. But also is because we like to know who's coming, where you guys are from. And then that way, also, if you subscribe to the website, then, and you don't even have to become a member, meaning a donating member. You can just subscribe to the website, so you can just be informed. That's all, and just see what stuff's going on. And then if you're so guided, there is memberships which will offer then other events and private things and other scheduled events and so forth. So we really want to do a little bit of everything, and still allowing myself to be available as much as I can for private sessions, and to allow myself to be able to be open to that in different ways as well, so that I could share my highest joy and excitement. And so I'm also accessible to those who would like to hang out with me. And I wanted to remind everybody too, and thank you to those of you who have already participated
and signed up to participate.
And for the next couple of weeks, I was doing free sessions for people. So if you are willing to come on and allow me to use clips from the session on my YouTube channel and the website and so forth. And so just to have some fun, see what kind of interactions we can have. And if you're willing to, allow me to use some of those clips, and some of it's just me, not really sure, what will be used, but just, so I wanted to throw that out there. I'll probably be doing that for, I don't know, maybe another week or two. And so I wanted to say thank you to all of you who have already done that and have already signed up to do that. So yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. And it gives me the opportunity to meet new people as well. And not everybody can always afford to do a full-blown session all the time. So I appreciate that, that you're willing to do that for me, because that's my share. That's a way for you can help share my word, my excitement as well. So I thank you for that. And I don't talk about this stuff, you guys. So but Dave's encouraging me, because I do want to let everybody know this is my highest joy. And as everybody else is out there exploring and expressing themselves, I also want to be more open with expressing myself in these various ways. So
Hi, Jody.
Hey, Judy. Love you guys. Oh, I'm so excited to see you all
I will
here.
say, Bashar very specifically says on multiple occasions when people are asking them about following their highest joy and excitement, he will say, so how are you sharing this information? How are you turning this excitement into something physical that you're actually doing or building or creating? And if you're not telling people about it, then you're really withholding from them the beautiful gift that you have to offer that they are waiting for, because you can't want to do these things if there's not someone to receive them. So, we're trying to navigate all of these things.
And this is a platform for you guys to do that too. I know light language can be foreign to a lot of people if you're brand new to it, or even if you've been doing it for a while. I know a lot of people that have had sessions with me who have been activated and have been speaking light languages for quite some time, but they're still not out there doing it in public, but they want to. And so this is a way for people to also, if you want to, engage in that and share and practice and play with light languages.
Temple, beautiful.
Temple, oh my God, girl. Hey, you. Mwah, good to see you. Good to see you. So so it's so good. It's so wonderful to see these old and new friends. And so just to remind you guys, the Zoom link is in the description of the video. And also, and so anyway, I just want to throw that out there about RSVPing on the website. It's just so that we can get to know all of you. So yeah, the link to the Zoom room here is in the description of the video. If you guys want to hang out, come on in, even if it's for 5 minutes, come in, share a word. And if you got to go, you got to go. And that's okay too. Mwah, good to see you. Good to see you guys. Mwah. Hey, Beverly. Hey, Angel. Love you guys. Mwah. So activation time. All right, Dave's like, oh, okay.
The energy has been very strong lately.
And I got to say, you guys, well, I'll tell you a little bit of the story in a little bit, but yeah. Coming off the day of world peace yesterday, this whole global day of world peace, and I've literally been just immersed in this energy. And today's date equals the number 1. And so today is about remembering that we are all one, that the all is the one, that all of us make up the one, that we are all that is. Everything that's ever been in creation is all accessible to us. And when we center ourselves, for today's sacred circuit from Sirius is center, which we will share with you in a moment. And that whole idea of when we're together in this energy, we are centered and we are reminded that we are one. So everybody just remember to have a little bit of water with you. If you don't already, take a nice deep breath, center on your heart, send your love and energy to whatever you have in front of you, and to all of the earth and the waters and all of the waters within all of the peoples and all of everything on our planet and around our planet. And just immerse yourself in that, in the energy of that oneness, just for a moment, and realize that we're literally connected in so many soul and oversoul and oversouls and oversouls that we can't even begin to imagine all of the ways that we are all so beautifully connected, and how we literally create the synchronicities with each other and for each other, for all of our expansion and all of our growth. It's truly, truly an exciting and amazing day for us to celebrate this transformation from what we call seasons and activate this transformation within us, wherever you are, whether it's autumn or spring, feeling the connectedness with each of those energies wherever you are. Somo tuyashani kila kiana. Mahomo yalabi noniata velendiata itonro koshini kiasa tupeana nashara. Flianda inaya kupolonia tishikia sapose natiala. Ashakiala sopurum vondoro yanda kite. Kishani andove ihawa kununiana wahalakoa. And when you share anything, you are speaking your light to the world, saying, this is who I am. And often, many of you will use your sharings as your way of speaking silently to your friends, your family, to your social media. It is in the sharing that you begin to come out and share your rainbow, your light, the language of that which you are, which is light, the language of which you reflect your beauty, your guidance, your sharing, your expression of excitement, however that is, in whatever way that is, doing whatever you do in the most excited way you can do it, taking it to its highest place. No matter what you do, you can be your brightest and remind another of their light, for that is why we came. All of us in creation came to remind each and every one of us that in the sharing of all that we are, that we become knowing more and more of all that we are. Namola kesindi ashanoyava iwa kisini siva somo onoala eva hoeni, and how you help all of the dimensions expand and understand and explore more and more of all that we, they, you are. Na oroko shivisindiala kia na yavako. Veshono toviana wa okusiva shinotia wa iya iwano. Even when you're sharing telepathically, singing, dancing, being in any joy, being with your animals, being in nature, we feel your heart expand. And in your expansion, we expand with you. And your experiences, all that is, experiences itself through you. In every thought, every moment, every motion, every interaction. That sharing is the gift. For as we understand you, we understand more of all and all of us. Never oya ine kila shumu yava hinada kilia sovashane ia. Mesovasine ti itikete ashono yawa numa urushe te isisasana. Inakiliando de visano te maya yinaya wakotela urushe Siva sonoteva iwawa ninyaro kutuveroma ishatovina You literally open the doors to interacting with each other in other states of consciousness. When you begin to express yourselves more freely, even in your own backyard. Mo'anteva yanania kodavintori shonkuya vasunia wianaya koitia uso de veshenete. Plehono kolia monoyava koyava soto vishe. Inayanoa kolukute vasho utivaso unua. So yes, as mentioned, the idea of what now, what do we do with this information? We integrate it and we share it. And we integrate and we share and we integrate and we share. For that is the way consciousness explores itself. Naru ke shenitivohu I wahinikile sevashonari awa I Mizevato inte ishani awa halaku ivo tu masavashanotive imone asha. And allowing yourselves to implement the simple laws of existence. In the simplicity, the complexity is understood. And your everyday experiences, you begin to apply the simplicity of these concepts. The complexity of it becomes simple. It's simply a remembering that you already know everything, that you already have access to everything that's relevant for you. And again, by sharing and learning and exploring and sharing again, you then share this new sequence that you are. So every time you learn something and integrate it and share it again, you're sharing it from a new sequence, from a new blueprint, from a new way in which now all that is can understand itself in a new way. And I think that myself as the observer translates that information. We as observers, all in creation, translate that information through yet our still own sequence, our own blueprint, changing it yet again and again and again. And coming from the oversouls and oversouls of the oversouls perspective, the expansion simply never stops. And it is in your experience that allows the continuation of our experience and our expansion. Nasovesha moro kovesha iya de kila samoya ta e ina ya wa ili guya mani va soto vishiniti Save sono ina kalianda visimoni ashati irako unoniato vishanoko e male besano. Peshane iti vikuriana ila kone si sono bi elete e shi va no e tavi maliato koshini si visho o motiveshe iwa meshanate uko eshanasa. Mataya. Oh, I'm really hot. Sorry, you guys. I was like so hot. I was sweating. I was like, I couldn't even concentrate anymore. So I wish I don't even have I don't even have the the words to express sometimes what they're trying to get across. The immenseness of our connections to each other and the way that everything we do is felt on such a multi-level consciousness.
Every level.
It just is every level. If I could only express what I see and what I feel, it's like I just don't seem to have the vocabulary sometimes for them to say what they want to say. It's frustrating sometimes, really.
So when everyone is participating together in allowing the energy of love to come through, the information that is shared between all of us is so much more than just the words that we hear or the sounds that we hear or the motions that someone might make. It's really by participating here, that alone is opening a door that is inviting in everything you need to know for the now moment. And the idea of channeling is really just allowing all of the energies of the infinite you, who you are, which we are part of, and you are part of us. And it just allows all of that information to get to you in ways that we can't. It's at such a quantum level that there's no way that we can even understand it, because if we moved closer to the idea of actually understanding it, we just wouldn't be in a physical human experience.
Right.
But just knowing that alone is creating such a more expansive energetic allowance that the sharing of all of this is I'm trying to get the word.
Now you know how it feels.
Well, I'm translating it as catchy to the collective, but that's not really the word. But you're really spreading that energy amongst everyone around you, and the more you are yourself outwardly, the more others can recognize you as yourself, and you offer that vibration to them, and they might not recognize themselves in you until they see that vibration.
Yes.
And
That's
some people
yes.
may not react positively to it at first, but you're offering the vibration. And if the offering is never made, then the other people who are really just reflections of you don't have the opportunity to reflect it back or to become it in their own lives. I know Bashar has talked a lot about the idea that individuals in the society are not taught the tools on how to operate in the physical world. They're not taught the laws of the universe.
Oh.
They're actually trained into belief systems that don't serve them at all. So this is what the awakening idea is. It's awakening to more of yourself, remembering more of who you are, realizing the idea that everything you thought you knew is somebody else's beliefs. It's someone else's. And their baggage that you've been holding on to, perhaps your whole life, that you can literally just decide to let go of. And the freedom that everyone says that they want to feel is only obtained by letting go of the baggage that is not yours. So collectively, to create the world that we want to be on, yes, it could occur on an individual basis. But I think a big part of why we're all here and why light workers consider themselves as light workers is to bring everyone with us and to give everyone the opportunity to be in the world that they prefer and not just go along for the ride. And they're coming along for the ride one way or the other. You know, as individually we move to different realities, we're hanging out with other people in that same reality that we're moving to. But it is probably one of, when you think, what's my mission here? And the mission is to be more of yourself. But by being more of yourself, you're going to share more of yourself with others, which is going to give them the opportunity to join in this Garden of Eden, which exists, and we're moving to it.
I was just sharing a message with Dave for a moment. Sorry, guys. And I wanted to mention that if any of you guys are having trouble with the Zoom link, let us know. It should be working. The Zoom link's in the description of the video, so I'm hoping it should be working. You should be able to join. Let us know if you have any problems with it. So just wanted to check. And I just had somebody else asking about hopping in the Hangout. So
In perfect timing.
In perfect timing. So okay, great. Okay, good. Okay, great. All right. So yeah, if anybody still wants to come in, please do hop on the Zoom link. If you have any trouble, let us know. If you want to come in and hang out. And I wanted to mention too, center. So Frederick was talking about, I referred to the sacred circuits today and center. And so I know for those of you who aren't familiar with this, and I've mentioned it many times, I've got lots of videos on it. Talking about the serious sacred circuits. You can find them on the internet. You can find them on the event on bashar.org. This is the first, number one is center. So this, and I hand drew it today on purpose, and I would recommend that everybody does the same, because there is literally a change in your circuitry of the brain, which is what these are for to begin with, for a lot of different reasons. But one is, along with the symbols that I create to share publicly and privately with people in sessions, are for your personal activations. But this is how I began, just in case you're new to my channel. This is really how I began creating the sacred circuits of my own, how I was inspired, how I really believe that these unlocked the doors for me to a lot of my own DNA, to my own channeling, light languages, all of that. So I just wanted to share that. So that's what we were talking about with center, the sacred circuit for center. And Dave had also translated these, if you haven't already seen them 100 times. Dave had already translated these into Hebrew. So the number one is translated, as well as the word of the sacred circuit. So I can hold this up. And this document is also, once again, available. I'm not sure where we have it for download, but I think we had it on my website, I think, for a while for download.
Yeah.
But we can because you're welcome to use it, have it. So there was an energetic reason that I wanted him to do it. And I don't even know why, except for the idea of the connection that I have always felt between Hebrew and light language, which is another hangout. That's something that we've been wanting to talk about a little bit separately, but the whole idea of that connection. And at any rate, yes.
Well, it's a perfect time to mention that on Wendy's website now.
Oh, yes.
We have the sacred circuitry automatically show on the
I forgot.
page that shows the numeric equivalent of the sacred circuit of the day. So every day it changes. So you can go onto Wendy's website and just from the home page and look at the daily sacred circuit of the day and feel the energy of it. And we use it also as a permission slip. And for instance, today is center, which is number 1. The idea that you want to imagine for what the sacred circuit is for is up to you. Use your imagination to come up with a meaning and a definition of what the circuit means. And it could change every time you look at it. So you don't have to assign a particular meaning and stick by that every single time. And they could have multiple meanings. So we invite you to look at that. And for anyone watching that has their own website and wants to display the sacred circuits, I'm working on a project now that will allow you to very easily add it to your own website. And we'll include a link to go to my webpage so you could read a little bit about it. But basically, it's a project that I'm working on specifically for Wendy. But when I started working on it, I decided other people might want to do this too. And so there's sort of a donation-based project page. So of course, I'm working on certain things for Wendy. But if anyone is interested in being able to do something like this, having it displayed on their page, coming up with their own logic or ideas on what symbols they want to have, perhaps even using their own symbols.
Which that's another thing I'll be doing.
So I do want to mention that. And
so right now it calculates, if you go to the site, it says, okay, today's date equals 1, and today's sacred circuit for today is number 1, which is center. So it displays it. And there's a variety of things that we could do with this in addition to just using the date. We can use, we can calculate it and different symbols in different ways to display for different reasons. And so we can display the whole date, for example. So using multiple symbols to create a little reading, if you will, kind of idea. But anyway, so that's kind of the idea behind all of that. And
Wendy can
cool.
attest that I'm excited about this and working on the website stuff, because I've been doing it for
his passion.
How many days now?
Yeah.
Almost all day while we're doing other things. But I'm very good at it. So
yeah, anybody who's in the spiritual community and looking for help create a website, just give them a holler. So yeah, just another form of our support and highest excitement. So and we appreciate that.
And we invite all of you watching, if you're not on Zoom, to click on the link and come join us. And
come hang out.
Any of you that are here, if you want to say anything,
and I want to say hi to everybody in the chat too. Hey Temple, hey Jody. How Jody says letting go of all the muck is literally like removing a whole house off your back, and it is.
Yeah, you can.
It is.
If you unmute yourself, then you can just say hi whenever you want.
Hey Cynthia, yeah, if you can hop in. Hey, I see you out there in the chat, so I wanted to say hi to everybody, Frederick and Cynthia and Starseed. It says, see, is that still a problem, or is that okay now? So,
It's not a problem.
okay, just want to make sure. I just want to make sure everybody who wants to get into the Zoom room can. So
Yes.
I just saw a couple people mention it, so I just wanted to, that's my technical advisor, so.
Yeah, as an attendee, you can't chat as a participant until you're a
So
participant.
you're part, right. So yeah, if you guys wanna, I can be quiet for a minute. If anybody wants to unmute, for a
And
minute.
let us know how the hearing the light language made you feel, and if you noticed anything.
Oh, our other Jody's here. We've got both of our buddy Jody's here. Hey, Jody. Hey, hop in. Just the Zoom links in the description of the video chat. I mean, in the video itself, it's in the description. So if you guys want to hop in, yeah. Hey, yeah, it's always nice to know too how people feel, how light languages make you feel. But I do, you know what, the other thing is I do want to pull a couple cards too. So yeah, just unmute if you want. We were talking earlier about the laws of creation. So if you guys are not familiar with these are actually also brought to us. I learned of these through Bashar, channeled by Daryl Inca, and the laws of creation. Number one, you exist. And I hand wrote these. And this is one of the first things I ever wrote in one of my very first journals. I don't even have the date on this one. Number two, everything is here and now. Number three, the one is the all and the all are the one. Number four, what you put out is what you get back. And that means your vibration and your mirror reflection. That's how we create our own reality. Number five, everything changes except the first four laws. And this is true of all existence, not just humans, all existence everywhere and everyone. Jody, woman. So I wanted to just share that if you guys hadn't actually seen these. And so and I want to say Sari, and I'll explain who that is in a little bit, who was sharing earlier in the channeling and the light language. I could hear it was Sari. Sari's a new being that has presented themselves to me. And so I was feeling deeply that energy, and but I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway, the idea though is that these are not just, oh, that's what it was. I remember now. The message about, I forget what I say. The message that was brought through about how do we apply this stuff in our day to day. And this is one of the things that when we start to literally embrace and integrate these laws, we begin to see the simplicity of the laws themselves. And yet when we apply these laws to what we consider the complexity of our day-to-day lives, we begin to see that although everything is complex, when we boil it down to these laws, when we apply these laws and the principle of following your highest joy and excitement as far as you can take it without any insistence on the outcome, and then remaining in a positive state of being, no matter what happens, to see the positive outcome, no matter what happens, because we always know that whether something happens we don't prefer, whether it's a delay, no matter what it is, it's always, 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 in hindsight, 2020, of course, it will always be for the best reason, right? We don't see it while we're in it. But as we apply these laws of existence, and when we apply the principles in the formula, we literally begin to it's like almost like I can't even, and especially living with him, I can't even like fake myself anymore. It's like I can't, once I apply these principles to my own bullshit, once I start doing that, I start to see the simplicity, but yet the complexity of creation itself. But yet when you apply the laws, because this applies to all of existence and all creation. So once we apply these laws, we begin to see the simplicity of our own issues. And we start to see that once we apply the laws, we can't fake ourselves into believing that old crap anymore. That's what it is. You can't hide anymore. It's like you can't, once you actually start to apply this in your day-to-day life, you cannot hide from yourself anymore. You can't hide from your own excuses anymore. You know, it's very enlightening. And what they were trying to say is, by us doing that, they, when I say they, it is all of us, our spirit guides, our fractals and our bless you, our you know, our soul fractals and the infiniteness of our oversoul. And then our oversoul has oversouls, and our oversouls have oversouls, and they have infinite number, and each one of them have an infinite number of oversouls, of which we can't even conceive. And this is what they're trying to say in that message is, you guys can't really understand the complexity of all of this, but you don't need to. You don't need to. All you need to do is understand that the simplicity of applying the laws of creation then sort of cuts through all of the complexity, because then you start to understand it's just, anyway, I want to let others share too. I see that people want to share, and I want to let other people share because that's why we're here. So thank you. Unmute. Go ahead. I see that. Who wants to share first? Angel?
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Yes, thank you for doing this. You know, I wanted to share, the main thing I wanted to share is that I really encourage everyone to, you know, take the opportunity that Wendy's offering for 2 weeks free session. Because I just want to give you a recap. 4 years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, I don't remember exactly the time, I booked a session with her, and she was, you know, actually the person who activated my light language, or you could say soul language, or you know, just our soul signature. And like a few days ago, one of my friends, you know, mentioned about Wendy, and then she was offering the free session. So I took another, you know, I just, you know, was so exciting that was time that, you know, I could reunite with her. And it really, really, you know, like a magic ride. Only you can experience, you know, firsthand by yourself. And Wendy's a person who is very authentic, and she will, you know, just she's very upbeat in her energy, you know. So just, you know, get ready for that excitement ride. and and it's definitely is a one-on-one experience. So everyone's experience just definitely will be different. And then just, you know, be open and enjoy the ride. And I highly, highly recommended her, because I have done many different sessions with different people using different modality, and she's the most authentic person that I could, you know, highly recommend. Yeah, and, you know, just enjoy it. And I wanted, you know, you guys to experience, you know, firsthand by yourself. Then you could be your own judge. And take the best, you know, opportunity right now that she's offering for 2 weeks, you know, free. And, you know, give yourself a treat. Yeah, that's what I really, really did, you know, wanted to show that and say something, because I'm so excited about that you be able to, you know, connect with her. She's very authentic. Yeah, that's what I really, really, really wanted to say.
Oh,
and
thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Are you brave enough to share any of your light language yet?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure. Because I feel like we are all different, and we are all unique. And, you know, whenever opportunity shows up, I just wanted to contribute, and then whoever will guess whatever, you know, that's just meant to be.
Oh, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. I'm almost embarrassed and humbled. I really am. But thank you. I so appreciate that, because I don't think people realize too, when I get ready for, I don't do a bunch of sessions in a day. Typically, I only do one, because there's so much I put into it, and I start receiving information usually like the night before, or in my dreams, or in that morning. And I'm taking notes, and I'm getting ready, and I'm getting messages, and I'm getting cards ready. And getting all the video stuff ready and, getting the tech stuff and the lighting and, and then doing the session. And then afterward, I do provide a recorded video for everybody. I just feel like for me, it's part of the gift. And so I like, because we spend so much time together and then we cover so much stuff that you can't possibly remember everything. And so I love giving people the video so that they can go back and look, watch it as many times as they want, just because every time you hear it, you might hear something different. And then sending that out. And I do take pictures of a lot of the stuff that I do. And if I have symbols, I send the copy of the symbols, the photographs of the symbols for use and download and, activating. And so I spend a lot of time doing one session. So it's, so thank you. I appreciate you saying that, because I really do put like so much into it, and I enjoy it so much. And I can never really be sure how long they're going to be, which that's a whole different story. We'll talk about.
And this is really to everyone. If you feel guided to have a session with Wendy, you got to let her know. And if there is an issue with the money, we'll figure it out.
We're already,
we don't want to charge anything.
I've been playing this for 7 years now. What's the best way to do all of this, you guys? And I know that all of spiritual teachers go through this. I know that we all of us, everyone. See, Jody's like, yeah. I know that. I'm shivering, like seriously shivering right now, because I know how sensitive this is. And you know what? This has been one of my challenges all along. And I know that there's other people who would agree with me, even here in this room, that none of us really know how to navigate this very well. And so, well, I shouldn't say that none of us, that's not true. That is a very blanket statement, and I shouldn't say that. But what I will say is there's so many nuances to all of this. And my main thing has always been sharing and helping. So it has never mattered about the money. But yes, I pay for a Zoom room and I pay for all this stuff. And yeah, you guys know what it's like, you know what it is. Go on Zoom and look for a year to see what it costs to do a webinar. And you'll know that's what it costs. So it's not it's not a secret that all of us who are doing this work really hard at it and don't know really what to do with all of that. And so a lot of us just look on the internet to see, what is everybody else doing? What's everybody else charging? We don't want to undermine anybody, but we don't want to overcharge. But we also want to be honoring ourselves in the amount of work that we put into our stuff. So I've done it all the way. I've never once turned away anybody because of money. Never. So I'll just put that out there. So all along now, I decided to change it to voluntary donations, because I want people to be I want to be accessible. Well, that creates a lot of weird energy too. So then there's that. So I think the idea is, and I think what I've decided to do, and this is why I just want to put it out there, because I'm so transparent, you guys. You know what I mean? And I think that this needs to be talked about, and maybe this isn't the right time for this subject, but it comes when it comes. So, and that's why I like why I like these live stuff, and why I keep them so open, because anything, any subject I want people to bring up. And so one of the things, so I think what I've just decided to do is, I think I'll just offer a day, and I've talked about this with Dave and my friends and colleagues, and this is just me, you guys. This is only me. You don't have to, you know what I mean? I don't want to say to anybody, you should do this way or that way, and because we all have to honor our own stuff. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You got to own it, and you got to honor it. Period. You got to own it and you got to honor it. And that's okay. That's what we're here to do. We are told every single day by all of these spiritual leaders and guides, follow your highest joy and excitement, and allow it to bring you the abundance you deserve. Right? Isn't that what we're told every day? Every single day it's pounded in our, Abraham and Bashar, every channeler, every motivational speaker. Oh my God, they all say the same thing. Follow your highest joy and the money will come. So
today is the autumnal equinox.
Yeah.
and I'm just reading this.
Oh, okay.
During the equinox, the sun shines directly on the equator, and the northern and southern hemispheres get the same amount of rays.
Yep.
So I will say, being a day representing the center, and the sun is in
I was
the
going to say that
center,
earlier, so thank you for saying that.
what that also means is, in creating of the new, everyone's on an equal footing. You're right in the center. You have the universe backing you 100% to move forward in whatever way you want to go. And
True that.
As a conscious creator, and everyone listening to this falls into that category, and you might not like it, but your words mean everything. The way you actually
Oh my God,
act
abracadabra.
your life is a representation of who you are, and that is the world that you're creating. So it's up to you to decide where you want your energy to flow. And I would highly recommend focusing your energy on the positive things that you prefer. And
so yeah, even when I'm getting in the negative,
so who was it who said, when you have a I'm not coming to the anti-war rally, but
yeah, but you can invite. Abraham said that. She says, I think, yeah, don't invite me to your war rally, but when you have a peace rally.
Was that like Mother Teresa or something?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. You're right. It was Mother Teresa. Said something about, don't you want to go to my anti-war rally? And she said, when you have a peace rally, I'll be there. There's a big difference in that energy, isn't it, you guys? There's a big difference in that energy. So yeah. But anyway, to also conclude that whole thing is that I think for me, what I'm going to do to find my own gift and balance is, I think I'm just going to offer the things that I'm guided to offer. And as I mentioned, if you guys want to support the channel, it's like, I think the lowest one is what, $50 a year or something. So like a quarter of the price of a of a session, we plan to have all kinds of free stuff, and content and all that. But the point is,
we had monthly chart,
and we took the monthly recurring thing off because PayPal is weird, and it was just like not working out for people. So I just took that off altogether. It was just weird. It was anyway, and it was causing issues with people. So, I don't know. So anyway, so there's different ways that you can support, even if you have $1 and you want to just send us a cup of coffee, like, just, the point is that there's so many ways to share, to support each other. And I think it's important, of course, that we all talk about this and share all of this stuff and support each other, however it is, whether it's just come on into my Hangout and tell me what you do. I know a lot of people in here are healers, Tai Chi masters, Reiki masters. So everyone in this room is a healer. I know them because they're all my friends. So, you know what I'm saying? So I know this. And so we all have to be comfortable with putting ourselves out there. Pamela, my dear, my sweet friend from Tennessee. So, and I think that this is important to put out there. And also because I want to be real with everybody too, that this is something that's been going on with me, well, since I started. Actually, I wasn't even doing sessions when I first met Dave, and he even said the same thing. He's like, don't let that, come as an issue, or, so, so I think what I'll do is I'll probably just provide a day or, a couple of days, whatever my schedule allows, and to keep it in balance, and just have a day where I'm able to do free sessions for people. And if you can't afford a session, there's a day when you can get a free session. So I don't really know what better way to do it. I'm always looking for suggestions and options, especially from all of you who are already out there doing this work. And so I think that most of us are I want to just break the taboo about having the conversation altogether, because I haven't talked about this stuff. I don't. And you'll notice that in all of my videos for 7 years, you'll probably never have once heard me say, hit the like and subscribe button, or I just don't. And I never have. And because I feel like if you want to, you will. It's like, it's that simple. Do we, all of us YouTubers, need to know now to hit that, smash that like button and that subscribe button? Do we need to hear it again? Do we? Really? Do we even need to say it? I don't say it because I don't need to. If you like the content, you like the channel, you'll subscribe. It's that simple. And that goes for everybody out there, you know?
And I do want to mention one
Be
other
you
thing really quickly about what I'll call Wendy's services. She used to have on
yeah,
her website.
I did have
before I started.
That's true.
fixing it up a
I
little bit.
did do a lot of things.
A lot of different services, which included audio, recordings.
Now these would be people
symbols.
I didn't meet it. I had never met the person. They would just send me and say, I would
Right.
like a recording, and I would go out and I would do personal recordings.
So, and she had people interested in purchasing those things. And when I found out a little bit more about the details of what goes on behind the scenes, because of who Wendy is, a 30-minute recording is an all-day event. She's gonna write symbols. She's gonna take notes. She's gonna be activated the night before and start getting information. So I said, isn't it just better to just have a session? Because the price, even at that point, the prices
cheap.
weren't that different.
I mean, I kept everything very minimal.
The person who's receiving the information is really going to benefit most by having a one-on-one session. So it didn't make sense to have all these different products, and still you had to record it. You had to email it or put it somewhere.
Yep.
Isn't it better to just have a video? That's, the person gets it. It's private. It's not like we're putting it on YouTube for everybody.
So yeah, so just so you know, it's not just the hour or 2 hours or whatever hours we spend together.
So I will say that I convinced Wendy to get rid of all of those things and just offer a session. And I'm not sure exactly. I guess we'll find out how that works out in the long run. Some people have the opinion that the more things that you could try to sell, the better. But we're not focusing on trying to sell stuff. We're focusing on the sharing, and that's really the abundance that we get.
But people do ask me, do you have stuff that you can, I can download, or, and I'm like, well, I can, maybe I will go back and do that again on the new, maybe I will offer stuff for sale or download, or, video or audio tracks or video tracks or whatever, but that's not really ever been the goal. The goal is in the sharing. And I actually found that I got more enjoyment, although I will say I got so much validation from doing the stuff where I didn't know the person, I just sent to it, because the receiving information I got back from them was so validating. They're like, I don't know how you could have possibly known any of those things. Like, I don't know how you have never met me, never seen me, and yet the information was so spot on, which is very awesome and very validating. And it gives a person a lot of confidence to know that what they're receiving is real. And don't we all want to know that what I'm getting is real? So, and it's all real. That's the whole point of it. But the point is that it was very exciting. But what I realized is that I really just missed the sharing, like the person, the one-on-one. It was like, it just didn't feel the same, I guess, to me. And so I was like, so really that's it would all boil down to is well, what is the most exciting thing of, and this is not just for me, you guys, this is for all of you out there watching too. What is the most exciting part of what you do? And obviously there's things that, people don't, there's parts of businesses that people don't like, like not everybody wants to do marketing. Not everybody wants to do accounting. Not everybody I don't know how to manage a website, but Dave does. So you will attract the people that you need to help you do the things that you need to do in exactly the perfect timing. No matter what, it will always be that way. And so even if it's, and I did mentoring for a long time. That was one of the things I really enjoyed too, was spending time with a person as long as they needed it for whatever it needed, whatever they needed to work through. So I did mentorship for a long time. I haven't advertised mentorship in a long time, but it is something that, you know, I'm still open to, but it's just been my schedule has not allowed for a lot of this stuff. So, but this goes for everybody, and finding your center and your balance as teachers and leaders and guides and sharers. You know, finding that balance, being true to yourself, being honoring yourself and your work. And
I'm sure everyone here has noticed the intense energy
oh
that has been going on
God,
lately.
you guys, yesterday
and we're
was
feeling, I mean, we're feeling a lot of the collective.
Yeah. I almost didn't do this today because I sent out the poll, and then yesterday morning, and I wanted to throw this out here to everybody in case you guys want to comment on this or anything really. I woke up yesterday morning and I was really, I want to say I sort of felt, I don't want to say just dizzy, because it wasn't just, it was like, I sort of felt like I was still like the timelines are becoming slippery, and I felt like I woke up and I was still in the dream. It was very weird. And as the day progressed, it got even stranger. And it was like, and it was the Global Peace Day. And I was very immersed in this idea of, and I actually wanted to do a video yesterday too.
Well, we started listening to someone
yes,
talking about the water.
The water. So I started listening to the Dr. Masaru Emoto water peace project. And so they did a very brief, and I shared it on Facebook and all that, and on YouTube. But because I believe in this stuff, you guys, I completely believe in this. So I was part, you know, I like to participate in the water meditations for Dr. Emoto, because I believe in his work. I always have. And I believe that our thoughts are things, and when we collectively, consciously are together with the invitation oh my God, intention of peace. And so I started listening to her talking, and then I started sending out, and this was in the morning. I started sending out energy to the ocean, the Great Lakes, the water on the planet. And as soon as I started to see the whole earth, something happened to me. Like I shifted into this reality where I stood up and I couldn't feel my body. I couldn't find the ground under me. I was like floating in water. All of a sudden, I was so immersed in water energy, and then the Sirius energy. I was like, I could feel my Sirius counterpart, but I was so weirded out and dizzy from it. I literally got up and I told Dave, I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't walk. Like I couldn't find the ground. It was like I was literally swimming. And I got so sick. Like I got like sick. I was like, oh my God, I felt literally nauseous, like I was seasick. It was the weirdest experience all day. This was the weirdest thing all day. So I was in and out of this really weird energy all day long. And I thought, and then that's why I didn't even post the stuff until this morning, because I thought, shit, I don't even know if I can do this, you know? So I felt like I just wanted you guys to know that none of y'all are crazy. We are all going through this. I don't know what, I still don't really know, but all day and all night, I was in this watery, serious energy, like, and I don't know if it was the shift because of the equinox, or I don't really know. It was a very strange experience for me. And I'm still feeling it today, oddly. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, because I wonder do other people experience these things also as they're awakening and as they're going through this stuff? And Jody's shaking her head, yes. So I'm going to shut up for a minute and let anybody you want to talk, Jody? Do you want to say something, or just somebody else? I don't want to. No, okay, that's fine. She's waving. But yeah, it was a really very intense energy. And
Cynthia
So
says she had some floaty dizziness yesterday.
did you?
Also.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it was, it was really came out of left field. There was no rhyme or reason for it. And I went and lay down for a little while, and that helped. But yeah, every once in a while I get, I almost feel like it's a frequency change.
Yes, that's exactly how I told Dave.
Uh,
I felt like I shifted to a whole new frequency
Yeah,
reality or something.
I wake up sometimes feeling a vibration.
Yes.
Depending on, maybe I went somewhere in my unconscious and, in the previous night. It's happened.
I think that's what's happening, you guys, is I think that we're literally, time is getting slippery. We're waking up in the dream, and we're realizing this isn't real, but it's real. It's like all of it's real and all of it's not real. It's kind of an interesting, it's almost like once you start to become part of the, I don't want to call it the matrix, because I think that's kind of a weird way to put it, but it's almost like once you start realizing your body is, they remind me, and I'm reminded to say this again out loud. Our body is in our consciousness. Our consciousness is not in our body. Our body is in our consciousness. Our consciousness creates the human body. It creates all our hormonal issues and imbalances. All of the any physical symptoms we're having of any kind whatsoever, any kind, disease, discomfort, any of it, it's always energetically originated. Always, doesn't matter what it is, because our physical being is in our consciousness, not the other way around. So what we're feeling is simply a reflection. So it's not we sometimes we get the cart and the horse mixed up sometimes, I think. And we don't realize that it's a mirror, it's a reflection, not a cause. So it puts us in the driver's seat, puts us back in control. It puts us in the driver's seat again to remind ourselves, wait a minute, my body's in my consciousness, not the other way around. So I have, because I've created this consciousness, I've created my version of this, I get to decide what happens with it. Hey, I remind myself of this every day. I'm still working on this just like everybody else.
and I think also, as our vibration increases and our consciousness expands, and we're awakening more, we're literally awakening in the dream, and we're given opportunities to feel these things more now while we're actually awake.
Yes.
So the idea that something that happened last night, well, first of all, there's only now, but the idea that something that might have happened last night is causing you to feel something different today, well, really, you're having that opportunity to have that feeling now while you're awake and conscious, and acclimate more to those energies, to decide, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to define it as being something's wrong, or welcome it as a positive thing that you can experience more and more and more while you're awake every day?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of what I experience is that I'm always trying to figure it out, and I get very, very aware of, oh darn, I played in the soup too much. The soup being the
Yeah.
the stuff that we'd rather not know anything about. And yeah, so I kind of have this push-pull thing going on, and it's like, oh.
Well, you said something in the comments now that I just was right. Was that you that said that about the earthquake?
No.
Oh,
but
that
yeah,
was Jody. That's interesting, because I was thinking about the earthquakes and what you said about the nauseousness, and you know, I have to wonder too, if, you know, do we, because we are all empathic, could it be that maybe I could have been, actually never thought of that, you know, could have been that I was picking up on that maybe, or,
Well, so the earthquakes
but it's
are a
also just a
reflection
reflection and
of our
yes,
interchanging and growing.
yes. So the earthquake
And-
itself is saying you guys are being shaken up on a consciousness level. You're shaking yourselves awake.
So
That's very true. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to say. The earthquakes are
So-
a reflection.
I want to, can I say one more
Yeah,
thing?
no, go ahead, please.
I've
we're here
had,
for you.
We're here.
I have, I don't have a chance to share this kind of stuff very often, so this is like a treat. Thank you. I have had so many visions in my waking sleep about earthquakes, floods, and all that's I mean, I have a whole stack of visions. And mind you, I don't have a firm fix on who my inner being is. Definitely healer, as you all are, I'm sure. But anyway, I don't know what it has to do with anything, but I've just gotten these messages of the shaking and the flood. I mean, it blows me away.
Well, do you
My-
think?
I don't know how to apply this to anything. I have this information, and it's like, oh yeah, this really feels like an earthquake, you know. What do I do with it?
I know that's the funny thing is what do we do with this information once we get it clairvoyantly, clairaudiently, whatever, however it happens? You're right. What do we do with it? If you hear about it ahead of time, do you just share it and say, well, guys, I think that maybe there's going to be some earthquakes coming, or,
You know,
but then again, it's like, if we are our own universe, and this is, I talked to, you know, we talk about this all the time. If I'm my own universe and I'm the one creating the damn earthquake to begin with, because I'm the only one here. I'm the only one here. So how am I creating, you know, this, and then yet, how does that relate to the collective consciousness? So yes, I'm creating my own reality, but yet on a collective consciousness level, we've agreed to get shaken up. And are you seeing the, you know, what the visionaries saw before us, the earthquakes and the floods but what we're seeing, you guys, is we're seeing billions of parallel realities moment by moment. We get to choose which one we want. Even I've got to remind myself of this every hour.
So
Every hour, I got to
we're-
remind myself, negative
Yeah.
thinking. Wait a minute. Negative thinking. Wait a minute.
So the information always comes in metaphoric symbols. So you might receive information about an earthquake, and that might just be a symbol for representing something else as it is relative in your life. But that also doesn't mean there might not be an earthquake, but it also allows you to choose the reality that you wish to be in. So you can get that information and say, oh my God, there's going to be earthquakes. I need to prepare. I need to warn people. Well, that's just reinforcing the idea of all those things happening. If you look at it as you just interpret it as a more positive thing, you know, oh boy, everyone's getting shaken up to wake up more and be more in line with my beliefs. The earthquake may still happen, but you're now putting a positive spin on it, and your reality will really reflect back the positive spin on the thing that you're looking at. And you're always getting information to allow you to consciously decide where you want to go with it. And I remember when we were in Florida, when the hurricanes were coming,
Oh, yeah.
AJ and I literally everywhere we went said to people, wouldn't you rather just have nice weather? Do you really want the hurricane to come? And everyone was like, but the hurricane's coming. We have to get ready. I'm like, yeah, okay. But wouldn't you rather just have nice weather? Just admit you would rather have nice weather. It was very difficult
to get
people
somebody to just
to
say,
just say
I'd
it.
rather not, I'd rather just have it be nice. It was like they couldn't, their belief system wouldn't allow them to even entertain it as a possibility.
But we got
It
people
was so weird.
we did get people to go along with our idea of just having nice weather, and we had nice weather.
And I remember, was that the one when I messaged you?
Yeah.
And I said to him, because I was in Tennessee, and I said, how you guys doing? You know, I said, I saw the weather report, and he's like, what hurricane? Not joking. What hurricane? He says, the weather's perfect here.
And all around
And it
us
was.
it
It was so weird. And I'm like, so I will say to you guys sometimes too, I think I need to, well, it's like I'm always in a private session with this one, but you know, he doesn't let me get away with anything. None of, even last night I'm having, you know, my negative self-talk, you know, and there's no entertaining it. No.
Oh, you can entertain it. I'm not going to.
He says, I just will participate. That's all.
I'll participate. I'm just not going to
true.
join you.
That's
in
true.
the
He
negativity.
completely participates, actually. And yes, it's kind of funny, but something made me want to remind people though
I'm
that
so glad this is being recorded.
Pam's like, yeah. Pam we went to visit Pam recently, not too long ago in Tennessee, and she's my old neighbor. She still lives there. And so we went to visit her not that long ago. And so she got to meet Dave. And so she knows, she knows that, you know, he's not going to let me rest on my laurels here. Nope.
Well, you know, and it was a joy to have you guys here and to meet you, Dave. But you guys have been talking about dreams, and for the last couple of weeks, my dreams have been absolutely alive at night. And it's been a long time since that has happened. And I'm waking up and I'm literally feeling drawn in that presence, and I've carried it with me throughout the day. And they have been not bizarre, but incredibly active. And I think I have a correlation, and I'm not real sure about it. So I'll side table that right now. And it has nothing to do with what's actually going on with me in my personal life. There's, I think, another reason, but it's been a long time since I've swam in those waters of lucid dreaming and going in and out of the outcomes and changing that. I used to do it a lot when I was younger. I could call on dreams. It was amazing. And for a long time, I lost touch with that. And like in my 30s, early 40s, I think. But the last couple of years, they really have, it's almost been like darkness sleep with not a lot of dreaming, it seems. But right now it's tangible. And
I mean, what do you think? Do you have an idea of what you feel might be the I don't want to say cause, but you know, what do you think it is that you're responding to?
I don't know if responding is
or reacting, or like
I've been enjoying.
Do you think it's a collective of vibration? Do you think it's your own personal awakening, literally awakening?
I think it's part of an awakening. You know, I think we have them again and again throughout our lives.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's almost like a renewal in some ways. And I think that with today being, you know, that balance of time and, you know, the day into a more nurturing, the quieter, more inward blessing of fall and winter, that quieter time. It's almost like an activation segue to required quietness. I don't know if that makes sense.
That's a good, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think that I've felt that a little bit too, in that, sometimes it's kind of a paradox, because I find that oftentimes the more
Well, we just heard Bashar say that when you're noticing things as paradox,
yes,
that is because you're actually in the point of center,
yes,
and that's where you want to be, because from that point is where you can choose what you prefer, where everything is really equal, where you see what's one way, you see what's another way.
mhm.
That's the place where you can move forward from.
That's sort of how I've been feeling lately too, is that I realize that from that place, that centered place, that, like I said, it's almost like you can't fake yourself out from there. You can't, it's like when you're real there and you're there, it's like you realize I can't hide from myself. I can't pretend to myself anymore. I can't play those old mind games with myself I used to play. I can't put my head in the sand anymore and pretend this, you know what I mean? It's like, you just realize, but there's a calmness about it though. There's a calmness about okay, I'm ready to explore this now. It's as you said, there's like, you see the polarity and you realize, wow, I really can choose my state of being. Even though I used to believe that my circumstances drove my state of being. And now I understand I can't fake myself out anymore. My state of being is what drives my day. My state of being is what creates the next thing that's going to happen to me. And we're getting to the point where we can't run away from that anymore. We just can't. But the thing is we don't want to. We don't want to run away from it anymore. We want to wake up in the dream.
And feeling the collective is a real thing, because the collective comes from within you, because everything comes from within you. So
it's that point of center to navigate from.
Yes, and as you are changing yourself, the collective within you is also changing, and you're going to see the reflections of those things.
I'm so glad you said that.
We're all part of the same soup.
Yes,
we're all part of the same soup.
We're all part of the
What
same
you're
soup.
feeling, I'm feeling, and what happens
so
to me
glad
happens to
said
you.
that. Because what he just said made me put things into perspective that maybe will help all of us understand a little bit. Each of us are a collective. We are a collective. Each one of us is our own collective consciousness. We have a collective consciousness that we are, and this focus is just a little sliver of it, but we are literally our own collective consciousness. And I actually didn't ever look at it that way. Like, not really. Like, okay, so we connect to a being, like I've been connecting to this being, but it's a collective consciousness named Sari, and I'll explain why in a minute. But yet they represent themselves as a energy, and she feels like a she, but it's really a collective consciousness. Well, me, you, all of us, we are our own multidimensional being. Therefore, we are our own collective consciousness. And that means we have other beings and souls and oversouls that we're connected to, which is part of our collective consciousness. Yet, like you said, Cynthia, we're all part of the big same soup. We're all part of the same collective consciousness that is called source energy, called God, called whatever you call it. But we're all that from that same, but we all have our own collective consciousness that we're literally conversing with and sharing all day long, every minute of every day on a quantum level. And I really guess I never thought about it that way, is if we can treat ourselves as our own collective consciousness, we begin to see ourselves from a more multidimensional standpoint. Very cool. But that's one of the reasons why we love sharing and why we love doing these things, is because every little bit of those nuances, whether you know it or not, when we all go to sleep tonight, we're going to gather and we're going to hang out and we're going to talk about this stuff. And then tomorrow we're going to act it all out, because I already know, you guys already know, last night we were hanging. Like, I could just feel it. Like, I can feel it as we're getting ready for this tea party today. It's like I do. It's like I can feel it, and I get in the goosebumps because I know I know
Uh,
that we're, yeah, go ahead, Cynthia.
Before I forget, being in the same soup, if we all live from that perspective, I came up with this the other night in my spiritual class. If we do that, we circumvent or stop being in judgment. Because if you think of yourself as the whole and vice versa, you know, if you're judging yourself, you're judging others, and the same thing backwards. So what it does is it brings you to a point where it's like, I'm not going to judge that person, because if I do that, I'm judging myself at the same time. And coming from it in a more heart base, you can even feel that pain that you would cause yourself as the words come out of your mouth. You're like, you feel the pain in your own heart.
Yep. Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird? It's so weird that you said that, Cynthia, because when I'm feeling something bad about myself, and we all know that if we're feeling something that doesn't feel good, it's because we believe something about ourselves that our higher self does not agree with.
Yep.
It does not agree with what you're thinking about right now, or you wouldn't feel that disharmony, you wouldn't feel that distress, you wouldn't feel that, so, and I understand that too, that every time I judge another, that's all I'm doing is judging myself. I see that, like,
Exactly.
I see it so clearly now that, and then I realize, and isn't this weird, because I will judge another and then feel the mirror reflection of that judgment, realizing I'm judging myself and that I'm imposing the pain upon another person that I feel about myself because of that resistance, because of that knowing that I've just judged someone else, something else, and really it's just me I'm judging, and I feel the pain of my own self-judgment. And yet it's almost like we don't realize too, when we're judging another, that the pain that we are causing ourselves, we're feeling literally the mirror of that back and forth.
Right.
And this gets into such a weird territory too, because of when we begin to believe that someone else's behavior creates our state of being. And it's very easy to get into that. It's very easy to, no matter what, make that person's behavior be the reason for your state of being.
Yep.
And there's so many nuances. This could go into a whole nother webinar. Like that's a whole
Sorry.
but
I brought the rabbit hole in.
But isn't that interesting? That's what we are here to do, is open up our rabbit holes with each other and go, okay, wait a second, why are we doing this and why are we feeling this? And so, but that has been so clear to me lately, more than ever. And all of the nuances of that. And I've been, and you guys probably already know this or have already read it, but lately I've been reminded, and maybe you guys watch him, what's his last name? How could I forget? I watch him all the time. Anyway, his name is Elmer, and he has a YouTube channel, and he talks about Neville Goddard's principles, which is basically the same as Abraham, same as Seth, same as Bashar. It's all about you create your own reality. And the idea of, and I want to get the words right. I don't have my journal. I didn't write it down. You guys can look this up, but abracadabra. It's a Hebrew word, which I guess I never really put it all together. The abracadabra is a Hebrew word, and he speaks and reads in Hebrew and writes. What is the
Somewhat.
actual? I create, what I speak is what I create. Abracadabra. What I speak is what I create. It's actually a Hebrew word. And he brought it up. This Elmer did in his video the other day. And
it may
it
come
reminded me.
from the Abraham in
It
the
is.
biblical sense.
It does.
That might be where it
It actually came from was the Abraham, the idea of you create your own reality. That
because, you know,
I mean, what you speak is what you create.
so Abraham in the Bible was sort of known for speaking what he wanted to create.
Okay.
He was, so in the Bible, in the Old Testament and the Torah, Abraham was Avraham was the first character after the Garden of Eden story that recognized God as being all that is, and the one God. So the God that's represented in the Bible is the all that is God, as opposed to at the time when they had gods representing individual things.
Yes.
The sun god, the moon god,
Right.
the crop god, the water god. So after that occurred and he was pondering that idea is when he started channeling
Okay.
what he thought of as God.
I see. Okay. See, and I don't really know these stories, you guys. I do not have a religious background.
So we know now that when you become in that frequency, God speaks to us in the path of least resistance. It's always God. And it's always our higher selves channeling God, because God, all that is, whatever you want to refer
and our imagination, you guys, is the channel to our higher self.
And he is part of us, he, she, and we are part of all that is. So there is no real separation.
No.
We're just pretending there's a separation. So
exactly.
And that's sort of another reason. I don't know if Wendy wants to talk about this at the moment, but when you're channeling, when you have an understanding and an allowance for allowing all that is to present itself, you don't create a label. You don't need to have a name. The stream of information that comes to you,
yes,
could be whatever happens to be the stream at the time that's the most relevant, and it also comes from a place of equal excitement for the thing that you're needing to get, wanting to get, asking for in that moment, and it could change moment to moment to moment. If you want to create a box that says I'm talking to Jesus and I want to connect with Jesus, well, you're creating a box that only allows a certain energy in, and that energy might not even be that excited to talk to you at the moment. So you're not going to get it. But as we understand more and more of the multidimensional aspects of all of this, which version of Jesus are you even talking to? So when someone says they're channeling and you know,
a being, like whomever, Mother Mary or
whoever that being might be, and it could be a collective, it could be whatever it is, you're always connecting to the one that's most appropriate to your vibration and what's relevant to your intentions. So it could be, to use Jesus as an example, could be baby Jesus. It could be,
well, that's what I was just
Jesus
going to say
from
too.
another dimension.
The being that is Jesus is also a multidimensional, multi-soul being, just like the rest of us. So
it might be a Jesus that never existed in
any timeline that we're even aware
right.
of. Yeah, we don't really understand. Our minds are so limited. Our physical minds are so limited. We cannot we need to label and compartmentalize still as humans for us to even gather these concepts and begin to understand, but our concepts are still very distorted. They're still very, we still don't really understand. So that's why even when these multidimensional beings connect with us, we still, we're receiving all the information on these quantum levels, but it's kind of like Bashar says, and this goes with all of us, you're really only receiving just a little piece of our complete energy. Even all of us in this room together, from a multidimensional standpoint, we couldn't really present our whole selves to each other, because we as physical beings, we wouldn't be able to do that. We just can't. It's physically not possible, physically not possible to do that, but yet they're all present. This is the thing that we don't really conceptually get yet, is they're all present right now, right here. So all of the dimensions that each and every one of us are, and the weird part about it is it changes billions of times per second. That's what we still don't even understand, is how does that go with that? Like, how do we navigate that? The thing is you just can't. You just can't. You have to just allow this stuff to penetrate and integrate and understand that you are constantly expanding. And with every expansion we have in every single moment is expanding, it is expanding. All that is it's understanding of itself. We don't really understand.
And Pam was talking about the dreams as well as Cynthia.
Yes.
I have heard from multiple different places the idea that when you're sleeping at night and you're dreaming, you're in a higher conscious state. And part of what you're doing is creating the template reality that you're going to play out for the next day. And you've arranged all the meetings, decided what you want to do, what you want to happen. You've practiced maybe even responding to the things that happen in a way that you prefer. And then you wake up, and then it's your job to play it out. And you get to choose how you want to play it out, but you've really already figured all of it out. And when you're remembering these dreams, they might be hints and clues to help play that out as best as possible. And it could be a completely new thing every day.
Yep.
And it could change from moment to moment. And you could also, I don't feel like playing the stream today.
It's just like the human experience. It changes moment to moment, or moment to moment. So those takings at night, it's really on a completely different dimension if you're soaring and going to places that you would never dream to go.
Yes.
You know? It's really been beautiful.
And doesn't it allow you specifically when you're going through something in your own 3D experience, isn't it interesting how even moment by moment or day by day that you can look at the very same experience from 1,000 perspectives and feel something different each time you look at it from a new perspective, and then sifting and sorting through what really hums with my core, what really hums with my core vibration out of all of the ways that I just felt about looking at this beautiful diamond experience from all the beautiful facets that it is, even if we define it as an uncomfortable circumstance or situation. Isn't it interesting how we can look at that beautiful diamond experience and see it from all these different ways and be able to then discern which way is my path, which way is the way I wish to experience this. I find it very fascinating, and then how we play it out also in our dreams. And
we've talked about this a couple other times too, that because we're so multidimensional, another version of us in an entirely different reality might be experiencing something that
Yes.
we can assist with in our own way that we are not aware of, or might not be able to associate the meaning behind what we're doing here, how we're reacting here, and how that's actually helping the other version of us
Yes.
in a reality. Or it could even be a version of us is helping someone else, and they're connecting with our life and experience to be able to share some of that to the person that they want to help out. And an interesting synchronicity is the idea that the beings in Sirius and
Mhm,
higher
mhm.
dimensions, there are physical beings that are assisting others with their ascension, and there are non-physical beings that are
Yes.
helping organize all the synchronicities and
Yes.
blueprints for all of the other civilizations, not on Earth, not limited to Earth, that are experiencing similar things. And from a higher perspective, the serious higher dimensional beings are coming up with these really exciting and interesting blueprint realities for us to have to be challenged with. And it might not have anything to do with our failing to do something, and then all of a sudden, you know, the roof caves in because he didn't do something right. And why is this happening to me? It's happening to me because somebody else is having that problem. And the way that we handle the situation by looking at it in a positive way and coming up with crazy ideas to make it a positive thing. You know, oh great, people come to play with tractors and toys
Oh yeah.
at my
crazy.
expense.
Yeah.
So some of these things are being used in a multi-dimensional way, and some of these dreams that we have that have nothing to do with what we think is our own reality might just be you pondering that dream is helping another version of you help somebody else.
So
That's
if
just-
anybody wants a session with Dave, you know, just put it in, you know, just put it in the comment, you know, the suggest, you know, when you sign up for a session, just say, I just want to talk to Dave.
So it is.
He is open for sessions too, by the way, you guys, as we are together. If you want us together, we haven't put that on the website yet, but that's coming. That's coming.
You were talking about Abraham. I've been watching a series of lectures with Jordan Peterson on the Bible. And each lecture is about 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 40 minutes long. And it has been a beautiful journey to explore Adam and Eve and all of, you know, the Old Testament and just getting into the New Testament. And specifically, he was talking about Abraham just with one of the latest ones that I was watching. But it's one of those things that I have this going on in my life, and I haven't told anyone that I'm watching these lectures, right? And I land here today on a completely different thing. And Abraham does not come up in my normal day-to-day conversation.
No, it doesn't.
You know, and to have Dave talking about that. So yes, Dave, this is meant to be that you're offering the sessions now, because it's completing that circle.
That's right.
It sure is. It really is. And that's why I say too, you know,
And last night we planned this all out already.
yeah, I guess, you know, here we were sleeping and planning all this out. I tell you guys, the funny thing is I get so high in energy, my glasses literally start to fog up. It is the weirdest thing ever. And again, I was reminded, you guys, use it, abracadabra, use it as your permission slip to say,
And everybody knows it's a magical
what
word.
is it that you want, and say abracadabra. He says to use it 3. Oh, thank you, Jody. Elmer O. Locker Jr. Elmer O. Locker Jr. I came across him a while back, and he was, and his grandfather knew Neville Goddard. So he shares all of this, the Neville Goddard work, because he learned a lot of this stuff from his grandfather. And so he shares this stuff on YouTube every day. And, it's like listening to, all of the motivational speakers. It's like listening to Bashar and Abraham and everybody else. Funny how Esther ends up using Abraham as well as her name for her connection to the infinite stream of intelligence. Oh, is that the wood guy? Yep. Yep.
That's
Dave's
the
got
way.
we're having some firewood delivered, so Dave's been
Oh.
waiting for this guy. So sorry about the interruption, you guys, but he'll go handle that. But so it's been very interesting for me too, that Neville Goddard actually talks about the Bible and the Old Testament, and yet how we have interpreted it and how I don't want to say that the way he interprets it is the right way. What I'm saying is it gave me a different perspective, because I didn't grow up in, I sort of loosely went to church here or there, but I was not a Bible reader. I didn't like, go to Bible study and that kind of stuff. So, but Dave growing up, going to Hebrew school and learning Hebrew, and he read the Torah, read the Old Testament, learned about these stories. And so, but when I heard Neville Goddard talking about this, it sort of let my whole stigma about the Bible thing sort of, you know what I mean? It sort of allowed me to be a little bit more open-minded about the whole thing because of what I've learned from other people's belief systems. And yet now I understand from a completely different perspective, and especially from Dave's perspective, from being Jewish and studying this, I understand I can't say I understand it. What I'm saying is I see things from a different perspective now than I did before, as far as all the metaphors and all of the, you start to realize it's not really, it really, there's so many different ways to interpret these things. But anyway, so it just allowed me to see it from a new perspective. And really the bottom line is that they're saying the Bible, that they're saying everything we have about what we're learning right now. This is the golden message. You create your own reality, and I create what I speak. Abracadabra. If we need to, and even Dave said that, he says, well, if you want to use the words, he's telling me this. Well, if you think you need to use the words abracadabra, then go ahead and use them. But he says, you really already know that once you say it, it is. So the abracadabra part is also just but you know what? It's a crystallization. It's like this. It's like you're giving permission to the universe to say, I want this, and I'm okay to want it, and I'm okay to believe that I want it. And so, and I think that gets a little confusing today too, because of all this, oh my God, you guys can be millionaires, and all you got to do is think it and put it in, and yet there's so many of us who are still in the, oh, but wait a minute, there must be something non-spiritual about being a millionaire. Wait, what? That's not what Neville says. No. No, the contrary, guys, the contrary. If you really read their interpretation of it, you realize it's the opposite. We're all here to create an immense amount of fun and love and abundance in our lives, period. That by virtue of just you existing. And that's why the first, how many times I've said to Dave, you exist, and I'm like, sometimes I've asked myself, like, why do I even exist? Why? Like, what's the meaning of even existing at all? It's like, I didn't get to choose existing. What's up with that?
It's hard to fight nihilism, and we're all wired for that. We really are, as humans.
I know.
Is to attack ourselves more than anybody, I think. So.
And if we understand on some weird quantum level that we create even the version of each other, you start to understand the version of the person you've just created in front of you is still your version. And if you're judging them, you're judging you no matter how you look at it, because they're just your mirror. You created them. And it's very difficult for all of us to really comprehend all this crap. It is. But one of the reasons why we encourage people to share is because the more of us that share, it just lets us all breathe and realize we're all going through the same crap together. And maybe our stories are always going to be a little bit different, but it's the same turning darkness into light. That's what we came for. We came to become not become. Remember, we are the masters of limitation. Do you know how many beings out there in creation don't have the guts to come here? They don't even believe that people can feel so separated from source. They really don't believe that that's impossible. They don't think that that's possible. How could somebody actually believe they're separated from source? How's that possible? We are the masters. And we forget that every day. And we're here to remind each other every day, we are literally the masters of limitation. We are overcoming. We're helping each other understand that the limitation is self-created. The limitation is self-created by belief systems. That there is no other magic to it. That's why they keep saying to me, my guides, it is not complex. It is very simple, but that doesn't mean the universe isn't complex. It just means that the principles are simple. And when we begin to understand that, it really does, it lets us all breathe in this air of self-acceptance and allowance, to allow and appreciate ourselves and allow whatever happens to come through, and however we decide to express ourselves today is perfect. No matter how it comes out, it's perfect. But to remember, I create what I speak. And every time I say, and I say this personally, every time I say something, I'm creating that very reality. And owning that as humans, and owning that because we've been brought up to believe there's this, somebody else is calling the shots, and it's just not true. And this is when we call the age of Aquarius and the age of awakening and lightning and all this stuff up. It really, that's what we're waking up to, is just realizing we're the ones who are creating it, and that we really do choose by vibration. What you put out is what you get back. Whatever vibration we're putting out, and we already know that whatever fears we entertain are the ones we're going to experience. And all of us are, the thing about this, and I think one of the reasons why I even get down on myself is because I sometimes often, that's a weird, anyway. I often feel that because the answer is so simple, we're all saying the same stuff a different way over and over again. Everybody, all of us, everybody on YouTube, every motivational speaker, every channeler, doesn't really matter the information that's coming through. It's all the same stuff. And I sometimes think that, well, if I'm just sharing all the same stuff, but the difference is the uniqueness in which we share, and with whom. And I don't know. Okay, I just got this message, and I'm going to use Pam. I'm going to put Pam. Like I just got this vision of you, Pam. Reading to your grandchildren, and I don't have any grandchildren, so I don't have that, that connection. But what I will say is even when you're reading a story to your grandchildren every day, you're creating it's like they feel your, how do I explain this? And I know you guys will get this, because we all, even if you're just reading a story or you're just interacting with somebody at the grocery store, every single thing that we go through every single day is a part of that energy. So everything that we're going through and all the things that we're learning and integrating and understanding and knowing more about ourselves, we bring to the table, no matter what we're doing or who we're interacting with or how. It's just because we're collective consciousnesses, we're collective beings. And no matter what we do, we're bringing that whole collective to the table, and sharing that with each other. And I don't even know why I was using that as an example, but because maybe the children are a very important, I don't know, aspect of what this whole, change of vibrational version of Earth. But it's sort of like I felt like I got this message that just by you're sharing, like just reading a book to them, just reading a story, but you're showing up, and yet you're also bringing all of this love and wisdom into sharing the story, but it includes energetically the stories of all the facets of all that you are, all of all of us. We're bringing all of our multidimensional selves to the table now, and we're starting to understand that in a much more intricate level. And I wanted to read too what I wanted to say. Thanks to everybody too for sticking it out here. I don't even know what time it is. Oh my God. Mel Willis says, I love Neville Goddard. I've been reading and listening to his books on faith and energy. Yeah. So thanks for saying that. I'm telling you, I was just saying how Neville has allowed me to look at the Bible from a little bit different perspective, and as have you. So that has made me really see things. And when I say that, I just mean it helps me understand the metaphors better. I think that's what it is. It's it's not about what is the meaning. We all can derive our own meaning from these works. But it just sort of allowed me to not have a closed mind when it comes to, hearing the information, but allowing myself to hear it from a new perspective. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Remember, we listened to that rabbi talking about the Adam and Eve story and how there's a completely different perspective on the story that he has discovered. And I don't remember how, I don't think that he specifically said that's how it's taught in conventional Jewish teaching, but sort of the idea about that the story is all filled with metaphors and what could have happened because convinces Adam to eat the apple, even though supposedly that was the only experience the contrast that we all as humans wanted to experience, the great separation and great contrast, to have an experience that is almost unheard of in as being a non-physical kind of experience. That yes, they were told not to eat the apple, but the whole idea of the first sin was not that they violated the commandment, but the commandment was given because God wanted them to violate the commandment in order to experience all the things that were associated with doing that kind of thing. And so it wasn't a wrongdoing, that it was actually planned out, that it would be so obvious that God would present this one thing not to do, that it would, So in the Bible story, sort of the idea is that the female is smarter, which we find out later that it's true. But
No offense, guys, but Bashar did say in one of his events,
woman is the
the
upgrade.
woman is the upgrade.
So so she knew that they were supposed to do it, even though Adam was saying, but God said not to do it. I'm not doing it. And she convinced him to do it because, you know, we do as we're told, as the first lesson of humanity. And so it turns out that it was actually what God wanted. And this is a rabbi describing this, that was what God really wanted to happen. And he made it as obvious as he could, because even though Adam and Eve were highly aware of the oneness and the connection, angels hung out in the Garden of Eden with them. So there wasn't a lot of separation. So it had to be so obvious for humanity to experience a separation in a way that was pretty unheard of. So this was a rabbi's perspective of the
Interesting.
original
Yeah,
Adam and Eve
yeah.
story in the apple. And there was a snake involved in it, which I don't think the rabbi really talked that much about the snake.
No.
But it turns out that the snake is really a representation of wisdom and power,
Yes.
and not really deception. And we're imposing our own beliefs about
Yes.
a scary slimy snake upon that story, which really has no bearing on the story at all.
Oh, this is funny. So I was pulling a couple cards from the Earth Magic deck. I was just kind of getting the itch. And this is really weird because we were just talking about the water and serious energy and what I had, the experience I had yesterday. And I don't know if you guys saw the last couple of videos. I don't know when it was, a couple of days ago. We were at a waterfall and posted a little light language kind of activation at the waterfall that we were at. And so one of the things that when we moved to the state, one of the reasons was because it's called the land of 1,000 waterfalls. And so one of the reasons we wanted to move here was to see a lot of waterfalls. And so it was kind of interesting, but the message in there is effortless. The waterfall flows effortlessly. So as we become more and more aware of these principles and apply them in our lives, the magic is that it becomes effortless. And what so many of us have been brought up to believe is that, the old no pain, no gain. But what we're supposed to be reminded of by spirit right now is to be that waterfall and allow it. All of this should be effortless. And when you trust yourself and just like Mel said in the chat here, believing in the unseen, believe in the unseen, and that energy is working for us. And that's what creates that effortlessness, that just allowing ourselves to pour out our energy. It becomes effortless. And when it becomes effortless, you guys, is what I've noticed for myself. When it becomes effortless is when I stop effing judging myself. When I stop, it's like some of the stuff just now dawns on me as I'm talking to you guys. It's like, this is when it becomes not effortless for us, is when we judge it. It no longer, when we judge that inner wisdom, when we deny, this is what I want. And that's when life becomes not effortless. That's when it becomes difficult, and why we feel icky is because we're not allowing the effortlessness of the waterfall to understand it's supposed to be effortless. When we stop judging ourselves, everything becomes effortless, doesn't it? When we stop judging the other person, people, everything becomes effortless. And for a time there, it may not feel effortless, because once we stop judging everyone else, guess what? There's only one left to look at. right here. So once we start doing that and we allow ourselves to integrate that idea that abracadabra, we create our own reality, things become effortless because you start to realize the effort is in the bullshit. The effort's in the resistance. The effort's in the judgment. The effort's in the how I say to myself every day, well, you know, there's a million other people out there doing what I do. And why should I go out there and do what I'm doing? Because everybody else is doing it too. Well, nobody's doing it the way you are. Nobody's doing it the way I am, you know, and it doesn't. So the point is that, you know, and the next card I pulled was the shaman, which does not surprise me a bit, considering I'm in shamanic company here. Every person in this room and probably everybody watching this video, you are a shaman. A shaman, literally, if you look up the definition, pretty sure loosely translated is a being who has the ability to go out into the cosmos and bring back information to assist the community. That's it. There's nothing more magical, really, guys, than that. You are able to go out and reach in and bring in the information from spirit, whatever's pertinent for the day, whether it's the rain, the crops, a marriage ceremony, doesn't matter what it is. Ancient healing wisdom, we all contain it. Each and every one of us is able. And you know what I forgot? I've been forget. I've got markers and stuff that I do, little tattoo markers that you just draw on yourself and they wash off in a day or two. And I keep forgetting about that because I've been wanting to do, and I was going to wear my feathers today too. So isn't that funny? Oh my God, they're hanging right back here, you guys. So all my feathers are hanging back there and I forgot I was going to wear them today because I was feeling so shamanic. But I was thinking about that, there's some videos that I've been wanting to do. And this is kind of the thing that I always get a little judgy about myself with, like, because I want to paint my face. You know, I want to paint my face. I'm sorry. Yes. Let me rephrase that. Dave wants to paint my face and video it while he's painting my face. And then just whatever comes out, whether it's my shamanic drum or whatever. So that reminds me too of self-judgment. You know, the idea that we as shaman, all of you, all of us, because you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't. So you're able to reach out into the nethers, into the cosmos, into the parallel realities. And just like Dave said, our multiple selves, we're receiving and sending information from their experiences and our experiences. So basically, we're all getting this information telepathically and sharing it with the global consciousness community. So whether you're doing it in a meditation silently, whether you're doing it at a YouTube, whether you're doing it on social media, in all of the aspects, you know, wherever you're playing on social media, doesn't matter. The idea is that you're sending out the vibration of ancient healing wisdom just by sharing the information you've received, because that's what makes you a shaman, is that the ability to receive and then share the information for the betterment of the community. And in this case, oftentimes is that the community might be your own multidimensional self. Maybe your community is your Facebook community. Maybe it's your group. Maybe it's your YouTube channel. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your town. Whatever you call your community, you're bringing it down and you're allowing that information to be applied collectively for the betterment of the all and for the betterment of the good of whatever that community is. So know that you have this ability inside of you, this ancient wisdom we all carry within us. And we're all now learning, how do I apply it now in my day-to-day life with my partner, with my job, with my family, with my children? How do I take these principles and apply them in my everyday life to allow me a more effortless life, a life of flowing, a life of abundance, a life of being who the frick you want to be? Like this is it. And you know what, you guys, and I'm not a big astrologer, because I also understand astrology is simply it's a reflection of who we are as a collective consciousness as humans. So it's just a tool. It's just a permission slip. The cosmos, okay, let me put it this way. The stars don't look the same if you're looking from another direction that's not Earth. They don't look the same, guys. They don't look the same. We have named them, we've described them for our own permission slips. And so, but I will say that I am feeling this Mars energy big time, you guys. Big. And I think we all are. Collectively, Mars is this push energy, this movement energy. Okay, how do we take this information now and move with it? How do we go forth on our path with it? Where are we being guided to push through the beliefs that are just fears, including me? How do we move through this and apply this ancient wisdom to our own lives and become the beings that we want to be, and to be ourselves no matter what? And I will say that now that I've allowed myself to be less judgmental about myself and allowing myself to not worry about what everybody, well, I can't say that because I don't, yes, I still worry about what other people think. What I was referring to was my own person, my family, my Earth family, that once I allowed myself to move past that, and it allows my own ancient wisdom to come through. It allows my own life to be more effortless, and it allows myself to share in ways that I haven't let myself share before, like the face painting thing, So I'm excited. See, I've given myself permission just by sharing it with all of you out loud. I've given myself permission to be okay with doing that. Like, why would I worry about that? I don't know. I am a shaman. I am a light language linguist. Why would I be afraid to share that with the world? But yet there's still things that even I'm afraid to show my true colors. And so this is as much of a permission slip as for me as it is for all of you. And that's one of the reasons why I love doing what I do and love doing sessions and love doing this live stuff, is because it allows me to be more of all that I am, and hopefully gives everyone else permission to be more and more of all that you are, and be more loving and kind to yourself and accepting of yourself. And a lot of us are, and then when it comes back to channeling and light language, a lot of us are waking up, starting to do this stuff, and we just don't have a clue what to do with it. I didn't either. All I knew was that, see, now my nose is itching, you guys. The angels are like right here. It happens every time. God, every time. Jody's like, yeah. It is. It's nuts. It's the weirdest thing ever, you guys. I can't explain it, but I always know. And why is it that our noses itch? I don't know, but it just happens. And now I'm really hot too. So it's like my temperature raises. Anyway, does anybody have something to say so I can shut up for a minute? Or Dave or anybody? And we should probably go soon. I'm like, God, you guys are such troopers. I love you so much. Beverly, I'm so happy to see you and hear you. Did you want to say something, my dear? It's so late for you. You don't have to, but in case. Are you muted? Oh, I still can't hear her. She muted. I can't see. Let me make sure she can unmute herself.
No, we don't hear you, but you don't show you.
And I see her hand, but I don't know how. I'm so sorry, sweetie. I don't know how long your hand was up.
No microphone?
That's what I'm looking to see. Is your mic working?
Oh.
Okay. I'm so happy you're here too, Jody.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I've put my headphones on.
Okay.
I don't know why it wasn't working like that. Yeah, certainly I think the frequencies have been ramped up this week. I have been dreams, really random, really bizarre things that I really wouldn't want to share with anybody. They've been weird. But yeah, probably astral traveling here, there and everywhere. And I haven't had any dreams. I went quiet. I think I told you last time, my life went really quiet. I didn't get anything. It was like, okay, so I don't belong to this, whatever's going on. It just, everything stopped, and then it started again. And so the dreams have been cropping up. The vibration's been ramped up. One of the things I noticed this week, and I'm just going to touch on this very lightly because of the vibration, we had the Queen's passing here in England, which, you know, the reign, the royalty, the stigma behind it all, it's all a permission slip. It's all a people unconscious permission for whether you believe in the realm or you don't. It's a permission slip. And what was brought to the table at her funeral, and I watched all of it because it's a moment in time. It's never going to happen again. I wanted to be part of it. And when her crown was on the top of her cask, and she had a scepter, a crown, and then like a long, I don't know what they call it, a stick thing, and the jewels. And I thought to myself, you know, the vibration around all that, with all these jewels set in the crown and in the scepter, and the permission slips that was going on in the ether of what was taking place. It was the end of her realm being passed over to Prince Charles. And it suddenly, the realization of the vibration in what was taking place, that most people are just looking at it as this happy, sad event. And I was seeing it for what it was, these permission slips, this unconscious permission being given by the people to reinforce a new monarchy, a new time. Doesn't matter whether you agree with it or disagree with it, but that's what was happening on an unconscious level. And that was just very profound.
I agree with you. That's funny that you say that, because I was feeling exactly the same thing. And I shared that with another friend of mine that lives in the UK. And I talked to her about it a little bit. And I actually could feel something on, like you said, on a much deeper, higher level. I could feel some sort of shift. And even though I didn't understand what it is or what it was that I was feeling, I could feel it. And I could feel
big energy.
I told her too, I could actually feel how it was affecting other races and consciousnesses that are assisting us in the raising of our vibration. I could feel the kind of like all eyes were on us, and that there was something significant about this transition. And I did even mention it to her, and I mentioned to her also in the way that there are like other guidance, like the Pleiadians, for example, were really interested in this, the whole Queen situation, like, and on other planetary levels and on other levels in which the Pleiadians are helping raise our vibration and assist us. So and I know this sounds crazy, and I have no way to even, of course, there's no way to substantiate any of this, but to even, what was the tie? Not really sure, other than it had something to do with hierarchy and monarchy and this kind of idea, and actually even in other places and other realms and other planets, and how all of that is also affecting how the assistance that, not affecting the resistance that we receive, but how it, I don't know how to explain it, like something collectively changed and shifted in our own collective human consciousness because of all of this, that somehow has something to do with our ascension process, of course, because it's all part of the process. So
it was something very tangible, very, you know, you could feel it, you could understand it on a level. But I'm watching everybody's sadness or empathy. There was a great outpouring of empathy, not for the Queen as in monarchy, but for for the mother, for the grandmother
Right.
that she was, that everybody is, you know, we all go through that loss, and that just great outpouring of empathy. And one thing I thought, you know, it doesn't matter whether you believe or disbelieve, you know, put all that aside, all those feelings aside, and just think that when you've got however many people in the world would have watched that funeral, and the energy that would have been created from one event.
Oh yeah, just like when Charles and Diana were married, just like when she passed away, just like I'm telling you, that whole thing had such, and still does have such a profound effect on me that I can't even I don't understand it. Why would it? I don't know, but it does. It just does.
And one of the things that, because I've been watching, you know, I've had loads of Bashar come up as well recently, which is really, really amazing, because Bashar pops up on my time frame when I need to know something, which I think is amazing, because I wasn't thinking about Bashar at all. What happened was I had this energy spike, and I woke up lucid, dreaming, and I woke up and I was in between asleep and awake, and I was seeing flashes of different races, different beings. 6 beings came through to me and showed themselves to me. And I thought, okay, I'm awake now. So I went to turn on the light, and as I put my hand across to the light, it turned on its own. So I pulled my hand away and it turned off. So I put my hand near the light again and it turned on, and I pulled my hand away and it turned off. And I said, look, if you're in this room with me and you want me to know you're here, flicker the light. So the light was flickering for the next hour. And I just sat there and laughed, and I thought, okay, so you've introduced yourselves. And I had apparently 2 Pleiadians, 2 Greys, one little green thing that wasn't, but that was to do with astral traveling, and a relative from, what was the other one? Not Sirius, Octurian, yeah, who apparently was a like mother to me in a different, and likes to hang about with me. So you see, I'd been wanting to know if I'd got any dimensional people around me, and they all showed up all at the same time.
Now you know.
Yeah. And what was interesting was the Greys, which they're not the tall Greys. And then when I looked, that's when Bashar showed up on my screen. And so I took that as a sign to say that they were Sasani, and that I had been working with them in a scientific manner.
Oh, I knew that a long time ago.
Yeah, so which is strange, because that's my job. That's what, you know, I went into. That's my field of work, is science.
And why would you think you wouldn't be helping on a scientific aspect with them as well?
Well, apparently I've been doing a lot of work in the scientific field with them. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So it made sense.
I'm so glad you're sharing this, because this is a whole new topic that we haven't even really explored tonight. But this is it. This is one of the reasons why we do this, because that's what I want to hear. And that's what we want to hear is, oh my God, I am aware of it. I'm allowing. And I just said, show yourselves if you're here. And boy, did they.
Yeah, they did.
That's
they did.
exciting.
It was really amazing.
And isn't that effortless when you believe it?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? When you stop.
For me, it's like watching a really good movie, and then when it comes to the end, because you have to wake up and go about your daily business, you're like, no, I want more. want more.
I want more.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
exciting too, because that's the best part about all of this is that there's always more. And that is what's so exciting too. There's always more.
So part of those experiences, and particularly that you were remembering them, is to bring that energy into your normal daily life, because you could have that kind of experience all day long. And the idea of creating a reality and moving to the reality that you prefer, it's really vibration. So staying in that vibration is the thing
Yes.
that allows
Yeah.
your reality
Yes.
to reflect back to you that same vibration.
And honestly, as soon as you start talking about it, I could feel it. And this is one of the important things about sharing, you guys, is that I could, just by you sharing that, Beverly, I could actually begin to tap into that energy. And just like Dave said, once I allow myself to be like, just even feel that energy that you feel and your calmness about it, and your open.
Well, it's exciting as well. I feel it
Yes.
here. It's like I get the shakes a bit because I'm excited.
But yet
You
it's
know?
the effortlessness of your non-judging of the circumstances that's so amazing to me. So it feels so calm and effortless, even though it's probably one of the most exciting things that you've ever experienced.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always said that too. I never knew that I could have so much fun sitting still, because it's like amazing the places we can go, never leaving our like your bedroom, you know. And I remember Esther Hicks always talking about that with Jerry after he transitioned, about how he likes to play with the lights and flicker the lights, and how you look at the time and it's like, it's not 11:11, it's 11:10. He always did the minute before. So he always liked the minute before thing, you know? So, so a lot of times, like the other morning I woke up and, it was 4:44, and then other mornings I'll wake up and it's like 5:53 or 5:54. And it's like, you sort of know, it's like, all right, Jerry, you know, I don't know why this stuff comes up, but it does. But I will reiterate that we're all the same soul family. We're all the family of teachers. Do we not recognize that we are the same oversouls and the same, you know, because we recognize each other. And I just think that's so exciting. And that's one of the things that is so exciting about all of you present here today, is that the connection that we have is just, you just really can't explain it. And
it feels right.
Yes, it feels like I am literally in love with all of you. And it's like and it's like, we need to be okay with saying these things out loud, because it's so true that once you recognize your family, you recognize that's what we recognize. Home is love. Home is love. The feeling of home is simply the feeling of that unconditional love that we feel for each other. And
Bashar would say, there's nothing to fear about finding more of yourself. He guarantees that there is nothing to fear about finding out more about who you really are and being more of who you truly are. And
anyone.
And the ageless saying, timeless and ageless saying of know thyself. And that's what it's all about.
Well, isn't that and I don't, like I said, I don't know the Bible thing, but somebody said that is like one of the things in one of the Bible's like scriptures or something, is that is what it says, to know thyself.
I think it's everywhere.
Is it? I don't even know. So, and it's interesting, when I very first started my channel shortly in, speaking of Bashar, and I got to remember the name of I could look it up in my video, and I have a bunch of playlists, and one of my playlists on my YouTube channel is called Know Thyself. And I did, Bashar introduced a 49-day kind of exercise. And so for 7 weeks, for 7 days a week, for 7 weeks, you do these exercises. They're just really quick in the mirror, and you do them every day, and you do them for 49 days. And it really is, that's the name of it. It's about knowing thyself. So it was one of the very first things I ever did when I started my channel and found Bashar and stuff. And so I was guided to share it, and I've actually been guided to reshare it again, but in a new way, because the videos are old, and it's, you know, like an old version of me. So when I look at it now, I'm like, yikes. But I've been kind of guided to share it again. So a lot of these principles that we've been learning and sharing, none of this stuff is new. It's all old stuff. It's all old news, really. And yet we're all discovering it in a brand new way. And that's what's so exciting about all of this, is we're taking all of this ancient wisdom and exploring it in a brand new way with each other. And I think it's really exciting. And I'm still in the energy of the description of those beings. So it doesn't matter whether you're watching this live or if you're watching it in another now in a recording, because your now is now. And that vibration will carry into whomever watches this video from here forward, because I mean, I could feel it. That's the point of the sharing, and the energy that's in this room is all going to be felt, you know. And
I'm also reminded about the idea that Bashar talks about it, Cryon talks about it. I don't remember Abraham ever specifically talking about it, but the idea that energetically the now moment is set up now to assist us in ways of moving forward that never really existed in our reality before.
yes,
And don't assume that because something didn't work before, it's not going to work again.
good point.
Even the same thing.
Yeah, good point.
And it's up to you to transform the situation to working for you. But I know Cryon has talked about specifically, and Bashar, I know I heard within the last day or two, again, very specifically saying that part of the idea of the trauma that we might feel is connecting to and remembering doing this type of shamanic work before.
Yes,
And I say before, but I really mean another version of us now.
yes.
We're connecting to those things. And until now, we were prosecuted for it. We were killed for it. It was dangerous. We had to hide. You know, of course, not all cultures were like that, but many in history. And we know now that being of a higher vibration really elicits fear in those who are not of that vibration. And just like the idea of if higher vibrational aliens came in and popped in your room with you, the high vibration that they hold would bring up everything that doesn't belong. And
Yes, that's true.
That's
true.
Human consciousness interprets that by default as fear, the fear reaction, the
Yeah,
flee kind of reaction. And we're getting trained out of that idea. But both Cryon says and Bashar says for sure, we no longer dwell in an energy where you need to be concerned about those things. And of course, you create your own reality. So if you decide and if you choose to be fearful of those things, you're going to experience them in a fearful way. But it's up to us now. And exactly how this works, I'm not sure, other than just collectively we've decided no more of that. We want to be who we are, and we want to be able to be who we are. So there's no danger in expressing who we truly are, and there's no fear that needs to be associated with doing those things. And
very good point.
the direction we're going is toward oneness. And I've said this many times before, we're all pieces of a puzzle.
Yep.
And the only way the puzzle could fit together is if we become the piece that we're truly meant to be. So being you as fully as you can allows you to be your piece of the puzzle and allow the puzzle to come together and be an example to others to be their own piece of the puzzle. And the beauty of the oneness is that you recognize that everyone is their own unique piece of the puzzle. And it's not about being the same, it's about being your own unique self. And that is the biggest gift that you could ever give to the universe, to shine and be your unique piece of the puzzle and allow everything to fit around you.
I agree.
Amen.
Amen. Oh, I didn't see Wendy's message. Another friend of mine, Wendy, was wanting to jump in. I didn't see her message until recently. So anyway, sorry about that, guys. Oh, see, that is the weirdest thing. I started like getting really hot again, and it's so weird when that happens. Okay. Wow, we are getting on time. You guys are awesome for hanging out with us this long. Always, this is how it is. We shared our highest joy and excitement, and it's like there's just always so much more to say. And I wanted to actually really quick to in the spirit of our being our native spirits. So actually, this is my very first Oracle deck ever, which I've shared a few times with many of you, by Denise Lynn, the Native Spirit deck. And so just in the idea of this, we create these, what we call equinoxes and these celestial events as permission for all of us to be more and more of all that we are. And so utilizing this energy to really abracadabra all of this into our lives, make it real. And so I wanted to share a couple of interesting synchronicities. I saw as Dave was talking, I pulled out two cards, or I was shuffling, and then I pulled two cards. The first one is the peace pipe. So I will say that, yes, yesterday, kind of odd, you guys, but yesterday was the Global Day of Peace. And so it's interesting that this card would show up today. And the bigger message to this peace pipe is, it is in the sharing, and we can call it the sharing of the peace pipe, but is in the sharing. Call your wisdom, call your guidance, call your highest excitement, call your expertise, the thing that you're most excited about. That's your peace pipe. And as you share it around the world with everybody that you share it with, we're literally creating that sense of peace within ourselves. And the idea that this came up as after yesterday's global peace, in meditation, to remind ourselves that when we share our ancient wisdom, we share our peace pipe, so to speak, we share our ancient wisdom, our life really does become a flowing waterfall of self-love and abundance. And I'm even being reminded of this, is sharing my peace pipe, meaning whatever this is, this information, light languages, however we're guided to share them. It creates an inner peace within us when we're literally being ourselves as fully as we possibly can in the moment. And not all of us I know, including myself, and especially throughout my journey here in the last several years, sharing myself and being at peace with myself has been a huge challenge, I guess. And so by sharing myself, we are all more at peace with ourselves and become it. And then it becomes a snowball, and then it becomes easier and more easy to share who you are, and we become more and more at peace with ourselves when we do that. And interestingly enough, also, the next one that came up was Spirit of Water. So if you were here at the beginning of the story, it's kind of the webinar. It's how it all began yesterday. Was I was doing that water piece project, and this is a message also from our Syrian guides right now, that when we are having these celestial permission slips, and you can even tell with the color here too, I'm being reminded of the Sirius energy, the aquatic energy, the water energy, and Sari is a part of that collective consciousness. That Sari represents to me is also a part of the Sirius collective system, collective consciousness system. And yet it also and I was thinking about the Spirit of Water too. In my first light language event was, is depending on how you look at it, it was either a success or a disaster. But I met Dave. So there's that. But that was one of my fullest connections with the water collective consciousness. And that Spirit of Water and the idea of the non-physical and physical energetic guidance that we're receiving from the Sirius collective consciousness is most easily accessible through the water. And I watched, and I've said this many times, and you guys have I think have found this as well, is when you're in the shower is when a lot of the inspiration and a lot of information comes, because we're non-resistant and we're also connected to water. And because we're water, we become better receivers. And I was reminded, I saw a clip by Lady Gaga, and she said she wrote an entire song in the shower. Like all of the information, all the song came to her. I don't remember which one it was. I just watched the clip today. I just happened to see it. It's one of those things that I was like, don't watch, but was guided to watch. And it was like just a short, 1 minute thing. And anyway, I was really inspired by that, because so much of my information comes to me through the shower and in the water. And that's actually where the Elohim introduced themselves for the first time to me, was in the shower. So that idea of the water collective consciousness and connecting with the water within us, and reminding ourselves that when we're connecting with water and we're sharing our inner peace and we're sharing our gifts and abilities, that the Spirit of Water is, because it's part of us, is, how do I explain this? It's like they show me it's being activated, and then it activates each other. It activates the water. Whatever I felt yesterday was such an immersion. That's the only way I can explain it. And I really had to lay down most of the day. I couldn't find the ground. It was very strange. And yet I didn't feel like I wasn't worried about it or anything. I felt like it was something I was just going through, and even now as I talk about it, it's like I start to feel the energy all over again. And I start to buzz, I begin to feel like my body doesn't, I can't feel my body right now again. So it's very strange, but not in like somebody with strange is the new normal or something like that. But anyway, so
I'd like to add,
yes, please.
that our human experience, a lot of people like to look at as a duality, but it's really a triad,
Trinity, yep.
and a trinity, because we're enjoying the experience of positive and negative, but the triad is the spot in the middle representing the center. So there is always in a line, there's always a center point. And from that center point, you always have the choice of going to the negative or to the positive, which actually defines the center point as actually being slightly positive, because having the choice is a positive thing.
That's true.
And the idea is that all things are really represented as a triad, as a trinity. And on our Earth experience, there are actually two sentient groups of beings on the planet. For the land sentient being, that we have the humans. For the water sentient beings, we have the Citation Nation, the whales and the dolphins and their family. And they're sentient, and they are also directly connected to the Sirius energy and are in constant communication with Sirius and those energies. And as bringing the Earth consciousness to a more place of oneness is to find also the balance point between us in the human land experience and the whales and dolphins in the water counterparts, and finding a balance point, which also means we need to look at the water as being an equally important environmental situation as our own, and we're moving more and more toward that, for sure. And I know Bashar mentions a lot that the whales and dolphins are actually aliens on the planet. They were born here. They're not extraterrestrial, but they are aliens. They are not human. And it is a very beneficial practice to connect with the whales and dolphins, either psychically, physically, because we could go, people could go swim with the dolphins, people could go hang out on whale cruises and stuff like that. But that is part of that trilogy of reconnecting all parts of the Earth into one unit once again. And I think we're probably feeling a lot of that happen also.
And really, you guys, and Bashar has explained this many times, that the Sasani and the Earth and Sirius are a triad. They're a trinity. They're a triad connection in which the Sirius star system and the beings are also the mentors of the Sasani people. And they're also our mentors, and the sacred circuitry that was brought to us from Sirius.
Citation Nation.
That's right. Hey, Daniel, how are you? Good to see you here. The trinary consciousness is because the Sirians, the Sirius stars, they're helping us. They're helping us through this ascension process and this connection. And so many times Bashar has mentioned this about the Earth and Sasani and Sirius being a triad connection, and that they are helping us ascend just like they helped them ascend. And we received the Sirius sacred symbols. They were given to the Yael, who then gave them. So Sirius gave them to the Yael gave them to the Sasani. The Sasani gave them to us. And so there is a deep connection with that. And so when we interact with these symbols, we're literally interacting with the Sirius counterparts that we are. I also have my own, as all of you do, at least one counterpart in the Sirius star system. Some are non-physical and some are amphibious, meaning they look a little bit more like chameleons. So if we can begin to understand these things and become accepting of these things, and to remind you guys too, we talked a lot about balance today. And I'm reminded about the full moon coming up is going to be in Libra, which is all about balance. Libra is all about balance. So this idea of finding the balance between who we are and how we wish to express ourselves, and allowing the Sirius energy to help bootstrap us up into the next vibration, and helping us to understand where our lives can become effortless. And so there's a lot of beautiful, serious energy that we all can benefit from simply by, as Dave said, tapping in and just invite the idea of the ocean. My friend Angel Divine that was in here earlier, she's got on her, I believe it's her Instagram channel, she just simply shares the ocean. She lives in LA. And so she shares the Pacific Ocean with everybody, usually around sunset, and almost every day. So there's a very specific, powerful energy in that. And I keep challenging her to speak her light languages in her videos in the ocean, but she hasn't yet that I'm aware of. So that was something that I was challenging her to do too. Her light languages are very, very uplifting, very fun, very elemental, and very bubbly. And so I was encouraging her to do it earlier today. But anyway, so yeah, you guys can check her out there, Angel Divine, and catch some of her ocean videos. So I just wanted to remind you of all of that, and all of you too. Part of all of the sharing, and wherever you want to do it, if you want to do it in the private chat here, but I want the world to know where you are and who you are. So I always want people to share what they do. If you've got, if you have a spiritual business or whatever, just that's part of why we're here, is to support each other and to show people where each other are. So for example, if somebody wanted to go hang out with Jody, Reiki medium, and she does her own galactic work and mediumship and stuff. So, we all serve each other. And so it's not about it's all about all of us. And so I always encourage everybody to share what you do, who you are, whether it's here on the air or whether it's in the chat box or whatever, or just to tell everybody, Jody's out there, go find her. So because it's about, that's what this is about, you guys. It's about supporting each of us to explore our highest joy and excitement, and to encourage and support each other, and share our wisdom.
And keep in mind, as we talked about the trinary concept,
Yes.
we're also being trained to be somebody else's UFOs someday. And some of us have already started experiencing
true.
some of those things.
That's true.
As being someone that other civilizations are connecting to. But if you seem to be having a challenge and you're not really sure why you're having that challenge, another idea to keep in mind is we could just be being trained to help another version of Earth, another civilization. Maybe it's not even Earth-like at all, and we're being
Right.
trained for that.
That's
because that's the way things go. So whatever experiences you might be having, it might be directly related to some important piece of information that you're going to need for when you're on a spaceship hovering over some other world, talking to them and explaining to them how things are going to be okay.
Yes. Thank you for that. Is there anyone, I'm sending the link to somebody who wanted to join us, perhaps, possibly. Is there anyone else that wants to share something right now? I know we're getting long on time. I love you guys for staying with us this long. I know we should probably close up. Everyone's got stuff to do, and there's all kinds of other stuff going on in the world today and tonight. And hey, we even thought about coming back later on tonight, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll make a video by the fire or something. I don't know. But I wanted to give everyone else a chance to say hello and share if you so desire. And if you want to say who you are, what you do, or whatever, that's great. I want to say hi to Marie. I know she's been really quiet back there. So I wanted to say hi to my friend Marie. Thank you for being here. I didn't get to say goodbye to Angel. She had to go really quick. So sorry about that. I didn't get to say goodbye to her. But anyway, so I'm just going to kind of open it up for a second. If anybody wants to, you don't have to. Thank you so much, Beverly, for sharing, for being here. That was a huge activation for all of us. That was really important that you share that. So I wanted to thank you for that. And all of you, Pam, Jody, all of you, just thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, go ahead.
And activations don't always have to come in the form of light language.
Yes, and
or some special
I'm glad you said that,
sound or prayer,
because
or
and people say, well, what, an activation is simply activating something new within you, or awakening your DNA, or activating something within you. Or maybe it's releasing a negative belief system, or maybe you didn't believe that you could just invite the aliens right into your room and be able to feel them and feel their energy, and to be able to recognize one from another.
you're activating when you walk around town. You're activating the people around you. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to
Yeah.
do any special magical thing. Your presence is activating them. And another reason to always be is best as you can, the most of yourself.
You want to activate them in the highest light, really, when we're walking around, and I'm a firm believer that there's entities around us all of the time, from dimensions that I do not know. But there is presence with us, I do believe, all the time. And thank you for everyone's shares. I'm going to bounce and say goodnight.
Yep.
I wish you all the best for your evening and for this beautiful autumnal equinox, and for this time of inward reflection that is coming to us all. And if you're in this hemisphere, But yeah, thank you, Wendy, for all that you do, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Enjoy your day. We'll talk soon, okay?
Say
Yes.
hi to all the animal friends. that we
Yes.
have there.
Oh yeah, right. Plenty. All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye, doll. So yeah, I was just, and I said, it's, someone sent me a message looking for the link a little while, quite some time ago. So I sent it to her and think, in case she might want to hop in, but I don't want to keep everybody too much longer. So I wanted to thank you all once again for being here. Thank you, Jody. Thank you all for sharing. And thank you, Marie, for being here. I know you've been quiet, so thanks for hanging out with us. And if you want to turn on your video and say hi, but you don't have to, you could turn off your mic and say hi too if you want. There she is. Hey, darling.
The spot, eh?
Hi.
Oh, hold on. Just as I turn this on, Amazon's delivering my package. Give me a sec.
Oh. And Marie's another one that I was hoping would share a little language with us today too. But because I don't think she has live yet, or at all publicly.
Sorry. See how it is? It's like as soon as I turn this on, knock on the door, it's my package I've been waiting for all day.
That's okay. We had a guy come to deliver wood today too, so that's okay.
Just in time for a fire for
Just in
tonight.
time for our fire, for our autumnal equinox fire tonight. So yeah, maybe we'll make a video out there.
I was thinking that I really enjoyed I don't know how many hours now that we've been.
Yeah, I know.
But really interesting stuff that everybody has to share. And I mean, this is something that I've been thinking of for a while, and maybe it kind of like falls into that category. It's about setting a support group for healers, which is kind of like what you're doing now, but more directed to, I think a lot of us as healers, even though we have our different gifts and what you're saying about, putting it out there, A lot of us are hesitant because of different reasons, and it would help to kind of like, set it up so that we can talk about what we're going through, and also what we want to maybe over the fears and work through those fears, so that we don't have to feel that we're the only one experiencing that, right? So I don't know.
And I'm glad that you said that. It is sort of feel, I do sort of feel like that was part of what was, I think that was what today's message was a lot about, even though I didn't like intend it that way, but, and a lot of things I didn't intend to even talk about. But I think that that's really important right now, that we feel supported as healers and spiritual leaders, because that's what we are, and way showers. We really,
and there's no competition, because this is the one thing that I like about you, because you know how we support each other, and it has to be that way. There's no way anybody can evolve by just being me. I do find that those people that we look at and they become famous, because there's been so many people lately that you never heard of them, and all of a sudden they start showing up, and they're all over YouTube, all over Facebook, all over, everywhere. And I don't know if it is because they get somebody marketing them, or they're actually being used to distract people sometimes, and other times it is to kind of like make the unconscious people aware that, oh, there's this going on, and then they outgrow that person, and they start following the real people that are not really out there, right? Because I think so it's frustrating sometimes finding that. So that's what I like about, because I'm the same way, I think the same way as you do, that it has to be about support, because it's not about, the more we support each other, the more we can reach out more people and support the other ones that are developing, because there's not going to be any, how is it, evolvement, I don't know if the word, if it's just going to be about, well, it's me, because I've come across healers that are like that it's all about them. And even though they might see the potential the person has in front of them, they don't care about helping them out or encouraging them, because they see it as competition. So they let their insecurity, their lower frequencies take over, and instead of encouraging them and nudging them along, right?
I like that. And do you think I think that both are beneficial. My question was going to be, do you think it should be in a private setting or a public setting? And I do think that both are very beneficial. So, I mean, I think I've already answered my question. But from your perspective, would it be better to be private?
In my view, for certain things, yes, because sometimes it comes down to, well, we want to talk about what we're going through in our daily life or daily family life, like what you mentioned with your family. I have some issues with my own family where, it's they're asking for help, but yet at the same time, when it's offered, they cancel on me at the last minute, even though it's free. So they have their own self-sabotage issues. I don't take it personally, but there's these things that sometimes it's good to have some feedback, because you know how it is, the negative mind, where you start thinking, well, I mean, you start going over it, and then you realize, well, I mean, it's not about me, it's their stuff. But sometimes you need a second opinion to confirm what you already know, right?
I think that's really good. And I think that Dave would probably concur in that. This gives me something else to offer, just as an event on my website to say.
And we did have, we had scheduled.
Yeah, we did
a private light language hangout, which you had to be a member to join
at the time. Yeah, that was a members only thing.
But you could join for, what was it, $4.44 a month?
Yeah, at that time it was
you
like
could just
$4 a month or
sign
something.
up for like $5 and for 1 month and be a member to be able to get a free light language hangout that was private, not on YouTube,
right,
not recorded.
So we are planning
so
to
you
do
could talk about
more
private things.
Yes.
And you could talk about situations that you might have with other people you're trying to help, that you're not at liberty to discuss on a live YouTube thing.
So I'm
and in a more supportive setting, but no one was interested. So no one commented, no one signed up. No one showed any interest at all. So we'll probably do it again.
Oh yeah, I
but-
mean, we'll definitely do it again. And timing, it's all about people's timing and things going on in life and stuff. And so I mean, we understand all of those things.
Yeah, I think sometimes people need a lot of advance notice, because today it happened that I got up early. I usually don't get up this
Yeah,
early.
and again, I
And
like
I
to
found
know-
it by accident. Well, you sent it to me on my Facebook Messenger.
Yeah,
So, and I was up because otherwise I get up later in the day. So
that's why for some people I send it to them directly, because I know what your schedules are, because you're my friends, and so I already know you're probably not going to see it, so I'll send it to you. And I apologize to my friend who she asked for the link a couple of hours ago, and I just sent it to her because I didn't see her message. But that's why I want to make sure everybody knew it was in the description of the video, and and that it was on my website and anyway. So, but yeah, I think that that's great, and that encourages me also to do more of those kinds of things, and to do private ones for people who, even if you're not a member of the website or whatever, to offer these kinds of things, because I enjoy it as well. And, and sometimes it, maybe maybe it'll be by donation or something, for,
yeah,
or something like that. But
Well,
anyway.
So as Wendy talked about a little bit when we started, in order to do something like that, that's going to last more than 40 minutes, you need to pay for services. We need to pay for services to have Zoom
yeah.
to allow us to do this. And, I would prefer to not to have to pay for any of these things. I would prefer for all of these things to be part of our bundle of abundance that we're receiving every moment.
And just like many of you, I mean, this is my work, and this is what I do for a living, full time. And I live it, I love it, I breathe it, and everything. Oh, tell us what kind of bird you got there, Daniel. Daniel wants to know what kind of bird you got. What kind of bird are you holding?
It's a pigeon. It's a rescue pigeon.
Rescue
Oh.
pigeon.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a pigeon. Just want to clarify.
Yep.
Daniel is
Daniel is
Daniel
correct.
in the live chat was asking if it was he says, is that a pigeon you're holding? I just want to make sure.
I know.
A rescue pigeon. That is so we were hanging out, me and Marie were chatting the other day, and she's privately, and she says, I just love this bird.
So everyone listening, your comments are very important to us.
Yes, they
Your
are. Really,
participation
they
is very
are.
important.
I mean it from my heart.
Commenting on the video, we do watch all the videos that we do, and Wendy gets an alert on YouTube if somebody comments. So we try to, we do this all day long.
And this was just an impromptu
So-
thing. I had not planned it. So like you said, we don't always know when we're going to do stuff. And so I just thought I'd throw it out there to see, because I knew there was a million things going on today. I'm thinking I shouldn't do anything on the equinox because everybody's going to be busy, but I thought, well, I'll just go with my instincts and just do it. And I was going to do it at 2:22, and then we decided to put out the poll, but we did it at 2:22 anyway. So all the twos today.
222 did win the poll.
Did win the poll, but it's funny how many other creators out there on the social media were all doing stuff right around that same time. But the equinox is actually, you guys, tonight it's 8 p.m. tonight. I think, is it Eastern 8 p.m. or 8 p.m. Central? I forget. But so it's not really officially until this evening. But I was just guided to do something last minute, and so I was happy that you were able to come, and all of you who were able to show up. You never know what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. But yes, I do like to plan things in advance to give people plenty of time to, know it's coming and all that. But sometimes I just go by the seat of my pants, and spirit just moves me.
It's hard to tell because sometimes last minute things, more people show up. If you try to plan it.
I know, it's really
people,
funny.
Especially in the spiritual community, nobody really wants to commit to something more than a couple of days.
I know, it's kind of funny because
and really,
that's
when you think about
okay.
it, if you're living in the now moment, you don't know what you're doing.
No,
tomorrow.
a lot of people don't.
So playing with navigating that whole idea.
Of planning
Uh,
and not planning, you
You
know?
know, it would be nice to know ahead of time that people are going to show up, that people are interested. But we know that the right people will show up at the right time, and we don't really have to worry about that. And of course, today that happened. And, you know, this is on YouTube, so other people will see it whenever they see it.
And I thank all of you for being willing to be open and on camera and live and experience and sharing your love and your experiences and your just everything, your energy, your face, your smile, your love, because everyone feels your energy, they see it. And so it's in just in that sharing alone, you guys, is so necessary and so wonderful and important. It's really important. And so I thank all of you who are, you know, brave enough to come out of your shell and share who you are, share your weird with all of us, just like I like sharing my weird with everybody. So there we have it. So you're going to see lots more weird stuff coming up from us. And so I appreciate all of you. And once again, if you want to subscribe to the website, if you're, you know, sharing, donating, commenting, attending events, is a way for all of us to learn and grow and expand. And I just want to tell you how humbly appreciative and just how much love I feel every single time when I'm even planning these events, how much love I feel just planning them and knowing the excitement of potentially sharing with all of you. And it's exciting to be able to share these things with Dave here by my side and helping me with all of the technology, as well as all of this, and sharing his wisdom, his knowledge, his channeling, the things that he's learned and the things that I learn and grow from him. So I
We all
really
love
love
you.
it. Mwah. And I love you guys so much. And I feel so comfortable with all of you. And once again, here we are, we're in Alabama. You know, we're always open to host a visitor from anywhere in the world. So we love you, and our home and our hearts really are open to all of you. And we mean that in every sense of the word. So thank you to all of you. I love you guys so much. Yeah, so much Shoto Ilanaki Sevaso, and all of you who shared in the live chat. Thank you so much for sharing. Good to see you here, Daniel. All of you. Good to meet you, Mel. And do hope to chat with you all guys soon. Nyatoveshono lakati irshonote pi ana kuyama oro kusho uyanati tayanate wana. And I'm going to share just a really brief thing with you guys that came to me one day in a meditation. And my world is so much greater because of all of you. Nyatovesha no alakini tia so utia alakina isho tuina nyashani tialako. My world is better because of you. Nisa moshotu ilakini iti ilakana. Kashonotu vishanotu iana kishenotia ti ishe. Ni anatia sono niana. Thank you, all of you. Nyakoyashea. For I am greater because of all of you. And my world is brighter because of all of you. Nyatoshena. Namaste.
Namaste.